Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike.
I am Jay.
And it's Memorial Day.
Let's all take off our underwear and tie some patriotic ribbons around it and run around the neighborhood. That's what you gotta do. Get some sparklers ready to go.
It's not desecrating the flag if you put it around a beautiful wiener.
That's it. So we out.
Probably still is. Yeah. Probably
not. It's all cricket.
Frowned upon that kind of thing. Putting the flag around your wiener.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But I mean, it's meant out of love. I would never do that. Hey, there's these people do that come to my neighborhood every like patriotic holiday. Mm-hmm. They come in our neighborhood and entering the neighborhood, they go like down the first 2 blocks and every like 2 feet they put a tiny American flag. It's like 4 older people and then they pick them back up the next day.
I thought you were gonna say Sergeant Slaughter does it.
Dude, they should pay a guy to do that, to dress like that with the aviators
and then the G.I. Joe song comes on when he does it. That'd be badass. Yeah.
He yells at the cars, "Don't you show some fucking respect." You got
before the cameras came on. Oh, that was a little cum.
It does look like cum. Other side, you missed it.
Oh, that damn ghost.
It's a great party.
So it was no big deal. The pale ale was really good. Before the cameras came on, Mike and I were talking about courtroom dramas and some of the best courtroom dramas out there. I got to be honest with you, man. John Grisham might be the king of it. Like, he had a string of novels that were made into movies that, were big hits. But the one that it was weird, dude, Universal paid him. I was just reading about it because I'm watching The Chamber right now. But that was the movie. The Universal paid him $3.7 million. It was unpublished. He hadn't even published the book yet, and they wanted options to it immediately. But it goes back to show you, like, I still, I know this is a long way about saying this, but I think that Joel Schumacher was fucked real bad on Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, because 2 of the movies he directed was The Client and A Time to Kill.
The Client was great, man.
Yeah.
I love The Client.
So you're like, it's like you see rubber nipples and shit, and you're like, God, Schumacher sucks, dude. He's the worst. I was like, I think the studios were all like butt fucking him merrily.
Yeah, he did Falling Down, man. I mean, he could direct. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
He did some good shit. Jaeger Bomb with the first super chat of the night. Thank you, my friend. Says, as promised from Twitter, what are your guys' thoughts on the R-rated Winnie the Pooh movie? Have you seen this shit?
I think I saw a picture of it, and I was like, I've been married to a bitch worse than that, but
I'll pull up the picture about it, Jaeger. And we can look at it together, because I got thoughts. I have thoughts too.
Is it gonna be weird. Is it legit gonna be a horror movie?
Yeah, like it's gonna be a horror movie, but I can't get the picture of it. Just come on.
So I saw the picture and I just thought it was somebody's joke. Like this, someone took like children's beloved figures and turned them into horror monstrosities or something as a joke, or like a, deviant art.
Yeah, no, so what happened was, and here's the picture over here. You see, that's Winnie in the background, and then that's supposed to be Piglet there, which is just wearing like a pig mask. You know what I mean? And they're about to kill this.
God, look at that girl's boobs. Yeah, those are like fucking inflatables. That's like why she's not fucking sinking. Those things are literally keeping her afloat.
Those things are faker than the mask those guys are wearing. But yeah,
I mean, your boobs are huge. I mean, I want to suck them, mama. Well, this picture up here on the top left corner, where I guess he's in a hoodie or something with the smoke around him, where it's kind of, you see it, the white lights. That shit looks like he came straight from Hellraiser's all-you-can-eat buffet. He looks like he's wearing a Cinnabite costume.
Yeah. Hey guys, you got any beef jerky?
So is it supposed to be really Winnie the Pooh, or just some guy with a Winnie the Pooh mask on?
No, it's literally Winnie the Pooh. And the reason why is this is the first we're going to get a lot of this shit in the coming years. I can't think off the top of my head of all the titles that are getting ready to go to public domain. But what happened was, so the whole thing with Friday the 13th, right? The rights battles, because after so long, they revert back to the original owner. Well, there's another law where after so many years, the copyright for a specific title actually goes to public domain, which is what, I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's what happens with the Amityville movies. Amityville is a public domain, which is why you get every year you get Amityville in an elevator, Amityville in space, because you and I can make an Amityville movie right now and nobody can stop us. Except
Amityville in my pants. Oh, that's probably taken.
I took an Amityville shit. But Winnie the Pooh is now public domain, so this is the first thing to come out. I'll be honest. I mean, I think it looks like shit. It looks like it's going to be one of those terrible, like, trauma at best type movies.
Well, Trauma's good. I like Toxic Avenger, but the thing about his, because it did look like cheapish looking, like his mask, but it kind of reminded me of one angle, like that one with all the white lights around him and stuff, and he kind of like the foggy, that right there, it kind of looks like the way his face looks. It kind of reminds me of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, like the way they looked, kind of goofy and like plasticky, rubbery and shit.
Yeah,
It
I
you
can
know,
get that.
it'd be good. Like, this would actually be a cool thing if they make it like a black comedy, kind of like
Yeah.
what Killer Clowns is.
Yeah, if they actually try to do something cool with it, but I think you can tell these guys just got some masks molded that looks kind of like it, and they made some shit. It's gonna be like some Sharknado type of shit or whatever. So I think the internet's freaking out. Like, I think a lot of people don't understand how many movies go straight to VOD these days. Like, I think a lot of people on the internet who are freaking out about this think that this is going to be like a major movie release. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But I think it's just going to be a fly by night, whatever the fuck. Because of the title, it could be like a Sharknado type shit, depending on how they do it.
I'm sure there's fans groups pissed off about it, but the fact is, I mean, they've been doing this for a while. I mean, they've done, like, I mean, how many different iterations of Hansel and Gretel? I mean,
Yeah, well, that's true.
So it's
And
whatever.
I mean, how many kids actually still watch Winnie the Pooh? Like, I'm a parent. I don't think I ever watch Winnie the Pooh with my kids. You know,
I just
like,
have
I
a
don't,
lot of poos. I just don't watch Winnie the Pooh.
like, I don't
Yeah.
know if that's still a thing. But
I
it's
never
funny
really
that-
watched Winnie the Pooh when I was a kid. Anyway, it was never one of my favorites.
I don't know shit about it except for Eeyore was sad. But
Yeah.
it will be interesting, dude. I have to look up that list at some point. Like, there's a list of stuff that's going to go public domain in the years it's going to do. I want to say like something. I could be wrong about this, but I think Superman was on that list at some point.
Oh God.
Like, would you imagine? Oh my, holy shit!
I don't
the
want
stuff
that to
that'll-
happen. I don't
Surely-
want that to happen.
Yeah, surely if that's and I could be wrong, but if that's the case, surely Warner Brothers will.
Well, then
wrap-
again, I mean, you know, with Warner Brothers just being complete dildo heads about
Yeah.
how to move that property. I mean, maybe give someone else another shot at it, or I don't know, like someone that actually take it seriously. I don't think that would happen. And Warner Brothers is, I mean, that's still a major moneymaker for them. That's like if Batman was going to be on public domain and they wouldn't make a move for it. Like, there's no
Right.
fucking way.
Yeah, you wouldn't think. But anyways, also, how was your all's Memorial Day weekend? Did you guys in the chat? Did you guys do anything fun? Did you have a great time? Did you get naked? Did you grill some hot dogs?
Well, I just sat out there on the lawn with my cooler and drank me some
Mm-hmm.
natural ice, and then threw beer bottles at cop cars that came by me because fuck 'em.
Yeah, that's pretty close to mine too, man.
That's what
family
you know,
over.
that's American right there. That's living life.
Yeah. That's got too crispy in the sun.
I was gonna put my Confederate flag up, but then I was like, man, I ain't washed it forever. Fuck it.
I really did have kind of a trailer trash Memorial Day weekend, dude. I mean, I told you this in the Patreon stream Saturday, but pool fell down. We cleaned it out and got it all done. Been working on it for like 2 weeks. Put water in the sun, bitch, and it just popped and it's like falling down.
Yeah.
So I went out. I went out before I told my youngest daughter yesterday morning. I woke up and we were having company over at like 4 yesterday, and then I
Was it
told her, I was
Jehovah's
like,
Witnesses?
yeah. I was like, I got some good news and I got some bad news. I said, the bad news is our pool fell down. She's like, what the fuck? And I was like, but the good news is, I promise you're going to swim today. So I went to Walmart at like 9:00 in the morning yesterday, dude. And I grabbed one of those like $100 pools. It's like a blow up pool. It's like 3 feet tall, but it's 10 feet wide. And it even has a filter on it. So we went to set that up and we didn't set up even. So it fell the fuck over. So we had to reset it up. But my lawn currently has 2 fucking pools and a trampoline in it. So I'm totally living the Kid Rock lifestyle right now. It's
When
crazy.
I come to your house to film, I'm gonna have that blaring out. Dan it, Dan it.
Basically, that's what my lawn looks like right now.
You live in a fucking trash heap. But no, yeah, that's
Wait,
fine.
KFC.
I thought you were gonna say the bad news is the pool fell down, but the good news is we're all gonna go to heaven because we joined the Jehovah's Witnesses and have promised to donate a lot of money. I pledged it. I'm not donating it. I pledged it, so it counts. By the way, speaking of which, you shifting up a gear, I forgot to mention this during the Patreon stream this past Saturday. And by the way, if you guys are not a part of that Patreon stream, come on down here and join it up. Join it up. It's nice to do it once a month. It's some sexy stuff. It's some fun times. We sing songs. We hold hands. We kumbaya. It's some good times. Anyhow,
beer chugging, all you can
fun
eat
stuff.
buffet.
Yeah, it's maybe Chuck E. Cheese will show up one day. I don't know. But I will say, I was gonna say, Mike and I actually, it was for a Patreon commentary as well. I'm not plugging it. I swear to God, I just came up, but we did Sinister. And Mike and I came to a realization, and it was just like God came down and said, no, know this is that, dude, what do you guys think that if you got, what's his name? The main guy, Ethan Hawke as Dr. Loomis.
Right. Yeah,
we talked about that. If you watch the movie Sinister with how Ethan Hawke's character is, he's wearing that cardigan, he's got the glasses on, he's really studying things, trying to figure out and not lock down what's real and what's not, dealing with the supernatural aspect, all that shit. And he's also an amazing actor. Ethan Hawke playing Dr. Loomis now, if they reboot the Halloween series after the Halloween ends, I
Sign
like
it
that.
up.
I like
I'm
that.
fucking in, dude. I'm in. Like it's inspired casting. It's not the first thing you would go to, and I don't think he should play it like Donald Loomis.
No, he would do his own.
Or Donald Pleasant, excuse me. But like, and I actually think even if you don't, maybe not do him as Dr. Loomis. Okay, if you're gonna do Dr. Loomis, I think he could do
Dr.
it.
Scoomis.
But yeah, if you're gonna do a Halloween TV show or whatever you're gonna do next, if you wanted to have a Loomis type character that was gonna carry that torch, and technically he's Loomis, but technically he's not. However you want to do that, Ethan Hawke, dude, fucking whether he plays it as himself and he's just a doctor who's very interested in Michael and has a lot of interesting soliloquies about him, that's great. Or if he's gonna actually do Loomis, I think he could pull it off. But dude,
I think that if you get someone of that caliber like Ethan Hawke headlining a movie, because especially after Halloween Ends is going to be so massive, and it's the last dance, a song and dance with Jamie Lee Curtis. You get Ethan Hawke to headline that shit, and it's very much similar to how Halloween, the original Halloween, came up. They paid the biggest amount of their budget went to get Donald Pleasance to play Dr. Loomis. I mean, that would be your big star right there, and then you wrap it around, the idea that he sells this to the audience about this supernatural creature that he knows, is can never get out, and I think that I definitely think Ethan Hawke's got the acting chops to pull it off.
I'm 1,000% in, dude. 1,000% in. I fucking love every bit of it. That was a great fucking idea on your part. Jerry Ramey, thank you, sir, for the super chat. Thank you very much. He says, am I getting down with you or Jay? Chairman me's got a price. Chairman's got a price. I think he's quoting something. I don't know what it is, Jerry.
I don't know. I mean, you can get down whoever or both. I mean, if you guys want to have a party.
We're a package deal. We're like when you go to the pound and there's puppies. There's two puppies, they're brother and sister. They've had a long history together. You got to take them both. You can't separate them. You fuck one of us, you fuck both of us. That's the way it goes.
That's the truth.
Them's the rules.
I think as chairman, he's got a price. When you said that, dude, it reminds me of $1 Million Man. Everybody's got a price. Yeah.
It reminds me of the pizza thing. One bite. Everybody knows the rules. Eduardo Santiago, thank you, sir. Says, I got to start writing my Dark Evil Peter Pan movie. Oh, hi, Mike and Jay.
Hey, how you doing, hi, Eduardo? Yeah, I would be actually a Dark Evil Peter Pan movie would be actually pretty good. I could see that. Like imagine like in Neverland, Peter Pan is like some kind of psychotic kidnapper that comes in and steals children and takes them away to Neverland, and then Captain Hook's actually a good guy. Like he's actually the one that's trying to free these children that are kidnapped against their will by these fucked up fairy creatures. And I'm not talking about Michael Jackson and Neverland. I'm talking about the real deal Peter Pan.
I'm already so tired. I'm starting to really regret looking forward to this public domain thing. Because you know how many fucking, when a big title goes up, do you know how many fucking iterations of it we're gonna get and just crazy shit like that?
I want to see it. I like that, variety is the spice of life. That's why I swing both ways.
It's like the multiverse, right? Like the multiverse sounds like a fun idea, but when you inject it, all of a sudden everything becomes about cameos and this and that and all this shit. I don't know. Like it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be the wild.
I like the idea. I think it's cool because the narrative has always been controlled by huge companies like Walt Disney or Warner Bros. I'm not saying that Warner Brothers doesn't have a right to Superman, because but they've done such a stellar job, right? No, that's untrue. The only thing that did good was Superman 1 and 2, the original Christopher Reeve, and then obviously Man of Steel. Everything else sucked my dick. But I think that everything else, though, otherwise is good. Like, because again, Walt Disney has always had the narrative on these characters, so it would be cool to see a different, dark, twisted version of them. Because some of them are also grim fairy tales that just happen to get picked up by Walt Disney and made into these kid-friendly shows.
I think it could work. I just think it has a really short shelf life, like my wiener. Inky the Alien. Hey, buddy, what's up? Says, recently got hired at the local pizza place. Congratulations. Hey,
right.
I was just telling somebody the other day, a young kid I know, I was like, hey, man, pizza job is fun. If you get the right pizza job, you can have.
The only thing I can really offer you guys is some pepperoni pizza. Let's go for it.
Major League Butt Kicking's back in town. Once I get my first paycheck, I'm planning on subscribing to the Patreon.
Hey, thank you so much.
We will welcome you with arms wide open.
When you come into Patreon, when I see you, I'm gonna go Splinter. That's awesome, man.
Hey, congrats on the job.
Yeah.
Dark Light, thank you very much. Says Winnie the Pooh horror could be like Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and they didn't quite have the rights to that, but we all knew it's Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Tim Burton.
Chuck E. Cheese. No, Chuck E. Cheese. Willy's Wonderland was based on the Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, Willy's. Yeah. I thought he was just making Willy Wonka or something like Willy's Wonderland. Yeah.
I didn't like that movie. Did not end up as good as I thought it was going to be. Thank you so much, Patricia.
Hey, thank you, Patricia.
Appreciate you
for the super sticker.
Brandon Barry, thank you, sir, says Aladdin would make a great horror movie like Wishmaster. Ooh.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Aladdin.
See,
Is Aladdin, but isn't Aladdin wasn't that made by Disney? Wasn't that
yeah,
an original idea from Disney? So
I don't
therefore it's
know.
not. I like the
No
idea of
fucking clue.
taking like fairy and again, Winnie the Pooh, I'm pretty sure was not intended to be grim fairy tales or anything. I like the idea of like those particular stories though. I think wasn't Cinderella or some shit, or I know the Little Mermaid was a fucking extremely dark ass novel. Or a darker novel than what you got in the Disney-fied version of it. I want to see those kind of movies come up and do a mainstream horror movie with them. I don't know.
Maybe it's just because I don't like Disney. Like, I'm not a Disney guy.
I don't like Disney at all.
I've never I think it says something fucked up about me that even as a small child, dude, when they would break into song in Disney movies, I got really uncomfortable and I felt awkward and I didn't enjoy it. Like,
the only time I liked Prince, I like some of their stuff. Like Aladdin's got some great songs, and I liked "Gonna Be a Mighty King," so enemies beware. I mean, yeah, is it cringy? Absolutely, but I like it. Okay, it makes me smile while I'm eating my Cheerios as a child. So
Lion King's the exception. I love Lion King and
James
Toy
Earl
Story.
Jones. Mm-hmm.
Lion King, Toy Story, those are my jams. Apart from that, I never gave a fuck about Disney.
You know what's funny is when I found out that James Earl Jones was doing Mufasa, like literally Darth Vader himself. It's not Darth Vader that popped in my head when I found out when I was a small child that he was doing it. I thought of because around that time I remember seeing Best of the Best with Eric Roberts, which is one of the greatest martial arts movies to ever exist. Period. Point blank. Don't come at me.
There is no choice.
I love it when James Earl Jones is the coach of the USA team that's going to take on North Korea. When he was like, "No women, no alcohol, no drugs." He reminds me of my dad, Big Daddy. He actually has the same type of tone and attitude with it. I don't know. That's what I thought of. I was like, oh, he was the coach from Best of the Best. And he's also, by the way, he also was a great villain in Conan the Barbarian. A lot of people forget that he was in that movie too.
Yeah, he's just a great actor all the way. Finder's Fee, he was great in that movie with Matthew Lillard and Ryan Reynolds.
The Sandlot, he was awesome.
Well. Yeah, the Big Deal. I'm the Big Deal. Hey, congrats! I think that's a Celtics jersey, and if it is, congratulations on the Celtics reaching the finals. He says, "Hey guys, y'all missed my super chat last week. Sorry, man. The Celtics reaching the championship was your penance, our penance." He says, "But I gotta know. I wanna know what turns you on.
I wanna know. I wanna know."
He says, "I just binged Game of Thrones and I was watching your reviews, but then y'all blue balled me with only 2 episodes in 8. I need answers." I saw that afterwards and I thought, fuck, we should answer that.
I think what happened, I think Game of Thrones, there might have been other circumstances going on that we couldn't film the other episodes, but I think mainly what happened specifically was that, and again, it's not sounding like a bitch or crying or whining about it, but it takes a lot of time on our part sometimes. It seems like it's to watch them and then set up the reviews and set up schedule us to get together and do all this stuff. It takes some time and research to do that, and then when you do it, and it's like nothing, like you get like 500 people watching it, and then you get usually 35 comments bitching about how stupid you are, you don't know fantasy, and you guys don't even know Jamie's not even gay. And I'm like, I know Jamie's not gay, no one said Jamie was gay, but it's always something stupid. But also on top of that, I think Game of Thrones started losing a lot of bluster toward the end, and I loved Game of Thrones when it first came out. I thought it was great. I introduced Mike to it, but it got the longer it stayed on air, it just kind of went nowhere. And then by the end of the whole fucking series, they didn't even give a shit. I mean, they were leaving water bottles on in the production. It was getting through editing. I mean, it was just like, okay.
Yeah, the last season wasn't great. I do remember specifically what happened with that, though. What happened was when we started covering Game of Thrones, it was we didn't cover it from the first season on. We started like really late for one, and then that was one of those times that was weird. I don't know what was going on in our personal lives or whatever. That was one of the times when I was filming by myself a lot, and then like we weren't filming together as much. And then so when I would do a recap right after an episode, it would do well. And then we started filming everything together again, and then when we would meet right after an episode and put up a review for it, it did really well. But then I think my schedule at work changed, or your schedule at work changed, or something. So we weren't able to film them until like 2 days later after the episode came out because of a work schedule. So, and then we would put up the video, and Game of Thrones was hard as fuck to do recaps for, because like you said, if you get anything wrong, you're eating shit,
Well, it also came on a Sunday. It came on a Sunday night. I was working at CVS at the time. That's when, because those were 12-hour shifts.
Oh, and I started. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what. So my work week started at midnight on Sundays.
Yeah.
So now but basically we were doing it like 2 days late, and nobody watched it. So it was just a huge waste of fucking time. So we kind of by force of YouTube's algorithm and our schedule stopped doing it. But that's why. But
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. The big deal. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm glad you were watching it though. That's cool to say.
Yeah,
I'm glad anybody watched it because but you know what? I swear to God, you and I will never ever do a robbery together because you just completely went backward on what I just said. We did not get our story straight because I said, "Oh, it was because of this or that." And you said, "No, I know what it was. It was this." And then if we were being interrogated by
well,
cops,
you said basically the same thing.
The detective would be like, "Well, your friend just sold you out. He just told you something." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, what did he say?"
Like, dude, we drink a lot. We have terrible memories.
I was like, I don't even know what to say. I'm sorry. I saw him blowing a guy last week. I mean, he's not gonna remember anything.
Oh God. Excuse me, the allergies are kicking in. My mystical instincts are finally kicking in.
Oh.
Hey, what movie is that from? Hey, I'm gonna wipe this fucking spittle off my hand like a gross asshole.
Get that booger off there.
Anthony Stamps, thank you, sir. Says, Jay, what did you think of Moon Knight? In my opinion, it felt very underwhelming. The CGI was very subpar, and the tone wasn't as dark as I hoped it would be. It makes me kind of worried for the new Daredevil reboot.
Yeah, I finished up Moon Knight. I actually thought it started out.
Grab a drink.
Okay, I thought Moon Knight started out pretty lukewarm. I wasn't that receptive to it as it got going, and when they started dealing, I think there was. There was 2 episodes that I think that dealt with a some pretty dark subject material, especially exploring child abuse and how that can fracture a mind, and then the split personality. I think they did a good job of conveying that, and I think they did what they set out to do. But as far as like the underwhelming performance of the entire series overall, yes, I agree with you. I don't think this is what Disney can do. They can't do with this character what I think another creator could do. Moon Knight is a very, very dark character. It's a very complex character. And I think it got a little, even for, in your opinion, it wasn't as dark. I think even the PG-13 level darkness was too much for Disney. I mean, the Mickey Mouse ears were like, holy shit, fucking abandoned ship. So they were like, yeah, it was getting too out there. So yeah, I agree with you. And the Daredevil reboot, yeah, I'm not, to be honest with you, Netflix did such an incredible job. Charlie Cox was amazing. That whole production was awesome. I mean, it was one of the best TV shows on ever. And Disney rebooting it, because here's the problem with when Disney gets their big fucking dirty ass white gloved paws in it and they start like anal raping everybody. They want to make sure it all is going to tie in.
I hate it when I get anal raped by Disney.
Yeah, I know. You guys have been to the airport, but it's it's like they have to tie it into this project or this project or this project. So there's a lot of creative control coming down from the executives, and it's all got to make sense and do this or that. So it's not like like Daredevil, the Netflix series. It was just an awesome story centered around an awesome character, which Charlie Cox portrayed perfectly, just like the John Bernthal thing. I think that the TV show was great. So yeah, I'm nervous about it. They'll have a ton of money to throw at it, but I don't know if it's going to be what the original was at all. And I feel like it's stupid anyway on Disney's part to have given up the Netflix thing. I mean, they could have just shared revenue like Sony does with Spider-Man.
Yeah. Stacey James says, y'all going to watch the new season of The Boys? P.S. This for ice cream because it's hotter than Oprah's underboob. Where
the fuck did we get ice cream?
That shit be sweaty, though. That's all I can think about now is Oprah's
that boob sweat. You know what that shit smell like? That's probably that smell like Oreos and Cheetos under her.
Is it weird that it turns me on? I don't know what's going on right now in my head.
And money, a lot of money. So yeah, you could suck on it. The new season of The Boys, I think it's June 3rd. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's gonna get raunchy up in here. It's gonna get nasty. I can't wait. I love the last season. Again, The Boys is one of the best shows on TV. It really is. I love what they're doing with it because you don't see superheroes like that. Those are real. That's like real people. If they had superpowers, what the egotistical assholes they would be. Absolutely. I mean, it's one of the more unique takes on superheroes.
I haven't finished the second season yet. I know that's bad on me. I love the show. I think it's great, but I think I was just at that time, whatever I was going through, it wasn't fitting my mood. So I stopped watching after like the first 2 episodes. I need to get caught up and try to before then.
That dude, what's the guy from Supernatural? The cute one.
Jensen Ackles.
Yes, Jensen Ackles. I knew exactly. You and I know who's good looking and whose dick we would suck. That guy's gonna be in the new season. He's like I think I can't remember his superhero name, but he's the one that actually sleeps with Homelander in the comic books and they fuck. And then Homelander, and he's like, I don't know. He's like, do you think this makes, because he's fucking to the top basically. Jensen Ackles is or something, and then Homelander said it's not gay. We're not gay because we have sex. It's not. It doesn't make you gay. Okay, I'll talk to someone to give you a promotion. It's very much it's very Harvey Weinstein of Homelander.
Now I'm definitely gonna get caught up. I want to see that. That sounds hot. Eduardo Santiago, thank you, sir. He says I would do the Peter Pan horror movie one by making his shadow take over.
Damn, dude, that's a good idea. That's really good. I forgot. Yeah,
I guarantee
the shadow and shit.
Yeah, I guarantee these motherfuckers doing this movie did not think of that. But
dude, Eduardo, just don't copy the shadow. It's like, who knows what evil lurks in the heart of men? Peter Pan's shadow knows.
You were merely molded by it. Michael Parton, thank you, sir. Says Pinocchio was always my favorite Disney film because of how dark and scary it was.
That's true.
I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think someone did a Dark Pinocchio. Like, I think that happened. I'm not 100%
Oh, no,
sure,
you're thinking, I know what you're, no, it was in the 90s. I know what you're talking about. It was like the cover was like, it was literally, but it wasn't called Pinocchio. It was called something else. Or maybe it was called Pinocchio, but it was like straight to video, like in the mid 90s or late 90s. Yeah.
I'm a real boy.
But you know, the thing is about that. Yeah, you're right. As far as a Disney film, that is when that kid smokes the cigar and he starts turning into a fucking donkey. That shit's weird and out there, dude. Like, it was like somebody was having a bad acid trip. Like that whole, like when you watch that, you're like, holy shit. And then the whole thing with the whale, it's like he got swallowed up by Rosie O'Donnell's vagina.
I bet a lot of these Disney things end up feeling that way. Ashley Smith, thank you very much. Says recovering from COVID and back to my job that I hate, but being here with the Wham fam makes me think, man, life will be okay. Love you, dude.
Hey, love you, Ashley. Thank you.
Love you too,
glad
Ashley.
you're getting over with it, over the COVID, and you're back at your job doing your thing.
What a sweet thing to say, by the way. And also, you know what? That's amazing that you are getting over the COVID, that it's going away. You got it, you dealt with it, and you're fucking done, which is sweet because now you're on the other side of it. I haven't gotten it yet. None of us have gotten it yet, thankfully, between the two of us. But when I get it, my exact thoughts are going to be, fuck, I can't wait until this shit's over with. You know what I mean?
Fucking dodging bullets, man. Like, we've been dodging bullets. Like, I'm out here like Neo, dodging that shit in slow-mo. Like, I had someone real close to me that just got it, and I didn't have any symptoms. So I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Luckily, my immediate family, none of us have caught it. But I like to think, hey, maybe I'm one of those few lucky people that are immune to it. But I don't know. I don't want to say that yet, you know, because I
think it's true for me. I got
living my life.
I got so much bacteria living in my body. There's nothing that wants to live inside of here.
Maybe all the alcohol's killing it.
I think it's like you die. Like the other viruses are talking to each other like, hey, we should infect that guy. I was like, you die. That's stupid.
You got that guy. You don't want that guy.
You don't want to touch that
you
guy.
Stay away from.
No,
him.
it's like that John Wick thing. He's like, he killed his fucking dog. He's like, oh. And they just like.
Yeah, speaking of Jaeger Bomb, thank you. Says we did get an evil Superman movie in Brightburn. True, and technically, you know, with the boys, it's kind of the same thing too. Like Homelander's very Superman / Captain America.
I love Brightburn. So. Yeah, no, you are right. And I always consider. And who did that? Who the director that did the evil Brightburn? Was it James
Gunn?
James Gunn. Yeah, awesome movie. But
yeah. Danger Zone. Hey, by the way, I should take this moment. Danger Zone. Thank you for the reminder. Dan Gerzone. Tonight, what we're doing on the live stream tonight is we're going to do our top 10. Like Jay said, we thought about it while we were recording the Sinister commentary for Patreon. We're doing tonight our top 10 horror movies of the past decade. That means our top 10 horror from 2012 to 2022, the current year. We're going to do our top 10, and we're also going to be doing a spoiler-free review at the end for Top Gun Maverick.
Some good shits.
Yeah. So, but he says, says, I still say Sir Ben Kingsley as Loomis, although I do get why you don't think he'd work, Mike. Maybe he would be too on the nose, but I gotta say, yeah, that's exactly it for me. It's just too obvious that it would never click for me.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned Ben Kingsley before, Dan Gerzone, so I'm correct and you're wrong. No, I agree. I also think that Ben Kingsley's too old. I mean, that's just, you got to get someone that has a little bit of longevity. You know, I'm not saying that Donald Pleasance was like a super young, good looking stud of a dude when they got him, but I mean, you know, still, I think that Ben Kingsley is a little bit too old to even pull the role off now. And he wouldn't do it. I just don't think he'd do it.
He looks the part. Yeah. But I don't know.
Well, I mean, back in the day, I would have said, let me get fucking Oliver Platt. Let me get Anthony Hopkins.
Oliver Platt could have done good. He would have been a pretty good one, dude. There's no doubt about that. Thank you very much, Patricia. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Patricia.
Kindly. And then Rusty Lion. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while, Rusty. How's it going, motherfucker?
Holy shit. Yeah, it's been 1,000 years. You're so
said,
rusty, Lion.
Oh, dude, this is bullshit. He says, bruh, YouTube deleted my channel. 81,000 subs.
Oh my
gone.
God.
81 fucking K subs gone. Give me some good news. The good news is you need to get in there and fucking fight that. What the fuck? What'd you do, dude?
It always makes me scared because that means that we're all on the chopping block.
Oh, yeah, I've always known that.
I guess the good news is Top Gun Maverick came out. That sucks, man. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, like Mike said, petition that shit. I go to Twitter and fucking tag them. I don't know. I don't have a Twitter, but can't you like at them or whatever, or like get their attention somehow?
Shoot me an email, dude. Shoot me an email. We watch movie 2 at gmail.com. I don't have any like tie-ins or anything like that, but maybe
we'll put you in touch with our lawyer. He's Leonardo DiCaprio from The Wolf of Wall Street. He'll set you up.
Maybe 2 heads are better than 1. I have no like I said, I don't have any ends or anything. I don't want to give any false hope, but maybe I don't know. We can figure something out together. That sucks, dude. I'm sorry.
By the way, I know before anybody says it, I know that Leonardo DiCaprio is not a lawyer from Wolf of Wall Street. He's like Jay's not even seen it because I know how people are. But no,
he acts like a lawyer though.
Jay, must be lying, man. I'm sorry, dude. That sucks.
JD reminds me of the Wendy's commercials. Like, we got that back. You gotta get the bag. Have you seen that? They do like the boy band thing. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
He's always coming in here with $50 fucking like that's no big thing.
That's called a man. That guy like a holiday.
He's like Robert De Niro. He's like well, I watched Goodfellas the other day. He's like Robert De Niro in Goodfellas, where he's like he gave the door guy $100 just for opening the door. Right? JD is always fucking nice about that shit. Thank you very much, man. Hey, pretty boys, can't stay for now. Catching some quick giggle bush before new board game gonna catch the replay on the crackback.
Yeah, I like it. I like what you're saying there.
Love your sexy faces. Have a wonderful show. By the way, it's my head canon that Slender Man smokes giggle bush. That would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, if someone offered me a cigarette, I thought it's bad for you lungs. You should not do it. But if you in the room, you try it out, and if someone slipped it in, they say, "Hey, this actual giggle bush." I mean, we're like, "Oh no, you, what you talking about?" It's always giggle. Is that lasagna? Leftover lasagna in the fridge?
You got some Oreos.
Hey, dude, I swear my favorite meme. I've talked about it before. It's a picture of E.T. and he's like doing this on the memes. And he's like, when you smoked a blunt or something, and then you open the fridge and the leftover lasagna. This is the face you make. You're like, it's so good.
I've never in my life, dude. That was when I did smoke. Like that was my biggest thing. Like I was a fucking munchy maniac. Like because food never. I'm already a fat kid at heart and in body, but when you were a kid, dude, and you smoking, it made food taste better. It was like the worst. I never forget one day going to my parents, coming home from hanging out with my friends, and I walk in the kitchen. I literally had lasagna, dude. I had a plate of leftover lasagna, and then I had Oreos and shit, and like a bag of Doritos. And my dad walks in, he looks at me, and my eyes are like red as shit, and he just goes, "God, your eyes are red," and just shook his head and walked away. And I just stood there paranoid as fuck, like
you could have had all your collection of goodies. You're like, yeah, well, life isn't easy sometimes, Dad. I've been crying.
Yeah, so
what do you miss? You're perfect.
Thank you, JD. Jerry Ramey, thank you. Says, when I hear my thoughts in my head, it's in Jay Slenderman voice. Mike, if you're still into scaring Jay, try YouTubing being scared or Mr. Nightmare. Hey, we should do that one time. We should do a reaction and like scare the fuck out of you till you shit your pants and die.
Jerry, you need to take yourself and have a no-way situation with that solution. I is it Mr. Nightmare? What is it called? A Creepypasta channel? I think he's one of the reads creepy. I love those channels. I think they're great, but yeah, they are scary.
I have no idea, but that sounds like a pretty good goddamn idea. Hey, pets. Thank you, pets. Thank you, pets.
Thank you, Pudge.
Shut up, Pudge. Hey, Paige said she was going to be at the Beer Chug on the Patreon stream, and I didn't see her, so that was a fucking
she had better things to do than watch other channels that are actually enjoyable.
Yeah, I guess that's what happened, Pudge. Mm-hmm. But thank you. Thank you so much for that. And... What are you not like?
You like a dirty California whore that wants fucking $20 for that needle in your ass.
Make it uncomfortable.
So dirty. God, you see that bitch down at the fucking surf shop, bro? She's like,
Rusty
oh my
says,
God, just give me $20.
listen, I can't appeal because I have no channel to appeal from. Absolutely devastated. Only option is to start again. Godspeed, brothers. Hey, man, email me. There's got to be something there's got to be something, dude. I refuse
You
to
can't
cheat on
appeal
that.
because you have no channel to appeal from. I mean, you did have a channel, didn't you? I thought you said you were 81,000.
No, that's the one that got fucking deleted, though.
I know.
Got
So
deleted,
I know,
yeah.
but it's still it's still archived.
I don't know. So, like, yeah, there's got to be something you could do, dude. Just send me an email. Let's talk. Let's talk about that shit. For sure. There's got to be something, dude. Got to be. By the way, first step. I know Twitter has a Twitter team. Like, they have like a Twitter support account on Twitter, like YouTube creator support. If you private message them, if you private message them, that's a start. I've done that before. Our Revenge of the Action movie got deleted because it was
Inactive
for some bullshit reason, and I had to fight that, and I had to go through a bunch of dumb shit, and it was hell trying to get it done. So
that's like our Revenge of the Action movie channel is like that kid that we've never sent child support to, but he still loves us and wants a relationship. So you fought for him anyway, even though he knew that we never were gonna have a relationship with him again.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what happened.
Maybe.
Danger Zone says, y'all hype for Jurassic Dominion allergies. Jurassic World Dominion or no?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not hyped for it. I think it'll be cool to see, the original cast, Jeff Goldblum, Sam Neill, and such back and reunited with this new cast. I think it'd be cool. I'm not like overly. I think the last couple of Jurassic Park movies have been good, so I'm excited to see how they're going to end it. And to see, and Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill and the older cast like bringing up the rear, I think that's cool. I'm not like, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm not hyped up for it though.
I think I'm excited because I think it was in our top 10 most anticipated, if I'm not mistaken, or at least close to it. But like, I'm excited because I love Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is one thing, but the ending I thought opened up a beautiful idea of the dinosaurs unleashed upon Earth and like populated areas. The trailer, though, I thought was underwhelming in a way because very much CGI. You expect that. But like the shot of Chris Pratt breaking out his knife and be like, ugh. And then it's like Chris Pratt dressed as handsome and rides a motorcycle and runs. Like the trailer, I liked it. I think the first time I watched it. And then like the more and more I've seen it, I'm like, fuck, y'all could have done something way cooler with this shit. But I'm gonna watch it because I love the idea that Fallen Kingdom presents. But
I just hope that I just hope we have a lot of Jeff Goldblum in it. There's just that weird shit that he always brings to the table.
Yeah, going back to the legacy sequel type shit for sure. JT Grogan says, I'm praying for a Lethal Weapon commentary at some point. Fucking hey, dude, it's one of my favorite movies. Well, I mean, top.
A Lethal Weapon commentary. I mean, again, it's all about who votes for it. I mean, we have it set up that people vote for it, and we do our best to make sure that the number one vote always gets the choice. So if Lethal Weapon comes up in a voting on Twitter, and hey, man, throw your vote in there. Throw your vote in there. On
not Twitter, but Patreon
or Patreon. I mean, that's what I said.
It said Twitter.
I pledged it. I pledged it. It's the same thing. I use it synonymously with donating. But yeah, If Lethal Weapon comes up, it'd be a fun one. Yeah, Mel Gibson's a sexy fucking beast in that with some great goddamn Aquanet hair.
Yeah, one of my top fucking movies of all time, dude. I would love to do that for you. Michael Parton, thank you, sir. Says real quick, you guys got any stuffed animals?
I do actually. No, I really do. You guys can't see it. I just found this, and I'm not gonna show you because it looks like a fucking like it looks like a Creepypasta one. But right there in the corner is I found my my mom who passed away, but I found it. She'd kept it. It's my old Winnie the Pooh. Like literally my old Winnie the Pooh from like 1990 is sitting over there in the corner, but it has no fucking snout, so it looks like it was like told to shut up.
That's fucking
someone
scary.
Cut off its fucking lips.
That's actually kind of scary.
Well, dude, it was actually scary. That's the reason why they took it away from me when I was a kid. It was because the batteries were running low, and it was telling me a story when I was a kid, and it was going, well, Jen, then they walk, and then they were like, you ran out screaming and crying, and they came in, and it goes, this thing was like blinking real slow, just talking, like
that's the movie that they should have done. They should have done that idea. I got tons. My house is fucking nothing but stuff. I got 2 little girls, dude. So my house is nothing. I mean, me personally, the only stuff about animal I have is Isabel sent us a stuffed animal of a wombat. So have that, and then people send us Michael and Jason stuffies over the years, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Don't lie, dude. You wait till the girls go to school, and then you just take all their stuffed animals and put them on your bed. You jump and dive into it like you're Faye Dunaway and be like, I'm here.
Why are you telling people my personal business, dude?
I just knew it.
That was a fucking private drunk conversation between the two of us. It makes me feel happy.
We weren't drunk. We were sober, having it like
Shut up.
Chipotle.
I did used to get in trouble for stealing my sister's stuffed animals and taking them out to the trampoline to wrestle them and like DDT stun them.
Dude, that's one I wish we had kept those. I used to have the wrestling buddies. We had a Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
no, I think we had
those guys.
Hulk Hogan and the wrestling buddies from the 90s, the WWF.
I had Undertaker.
Cody and I had we had Hulk Hogan and I know we didn't have Warrior, but Hulk Hogan and
Stone Cold was one of them.
No, it was before that. It was like the early 90s. It was like late 80s, early 90s. Randy Savage. I had the Randy Savage, Cody had the Hulk Hogan.
No, those are
we actually me and Mike and Cody would put wrestlers' names in bowls, and we would have to it would just be a random wrestler and you had to be that wrestler, and then we would have the whole walk down entrance music, and then we use those stuffed dolls as also we used to play with dolls, all three growing boys living in Kentucky.
Yeah, but we were fighting with them, so it wasn't
true.
It was this cool. No, I think those are the two I had. I think I had Undertaker and Stone Cold. And we used to get the cheap shit. Like you go to the flea market and they'd have some bullshit like stitched together ones didn't even look like it. I'd be like, yeah, I got a WWE superstar. And they're like, no, man, that shit's fake. I'm like, no, it's Stone Cold. His face is like,
that's the EWW superstars. That's that fucking cheap ass shit.
No,
that's
man.
The government cheese fucking superstar.
Yeah, at this angle, it kind of looks like Stone Cold, not just some random bald dude. DJ Dream Entertainment, thank you. Says, boys, I just got married last week.
Congratulations, man.
And waiting for our plane to board the jet off to the honeymoon.
Woo.
Chalice and Slender, give unto me thy words of wisdom.
Oh, man.
I'll begin. What you want to do, you don't tell the wife that you've already joined the Mile High Club. All right. You put that in your card behind your physician's license. You take the wife up on the private jet. You take her in the back and you do a doggy style over the sink. All right. And then you get you a couple Boilermakers if they've got a couple a nice, well, what do you call them? The cum receptacle. The ladies who bring you the peanuts and then you give them your peanuts. Stewardess. Yeah. You don't hit on the stewardess on your honeymoon. It's like what Johnny Depp said in Black Mass to his son. You do it when no one's looking, because if she didn't see it, it didn't happen. Okay. And then you get you a couple Mai Tais. You have all the sex you possibly can have with your wife. And, congratulations. You're married to one vagina for the rest of your life. But here's the thing. All right. You go to a couple doctors' conferences and there's no rules. All right. So you get you a 6-pack of Miller High Life. You call your wife on the fucking payphone. You say, honey, I'm going to be on Monday. And then what you do between then's your business. But enjoy Cancun or wherever the fuck you're going. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's great. That's great information if you want to get divorced before the plane land. That's great information, dude. That's exactly, if you want to get divorced before the plane even land on the runway in Cancun, wherever you is going for you moon of honey, then, yeah, of course, go ahead and follow that advice. What me would say to you right away is when you get on that plane, make sure she is comfortable. Say, honey, would you like this pillow, this blanket for yourself? It's a little chilly on this plane of air. And she's like, no, but don't want it. Because maybe she is nervous to be up in that airplane. And you say, that's all right, honey. Don't worry about it. You buy honey boony. It's all right. You make sure it's like, you want some peanuts from the steward? We may have some crunch peanut for me, wife. And then she made it so pretty. Thank you so much. You're such a good husband. And then when you land wherever you're going, then what you do is be like, honey, you know what would be great? Let's run over there and, let's go take a good snapshot when we get off the airplane. Like two honeymoons so happy. And you be like, yes, you go ahead and do that, Rob. And then before you go out and do anything else, you go to the hotel room. And now you got to consummate your situation.
I'm surprised you didn't tell her to go to the Subway sandwich shop for a honeymoon dinner, you cheapskate.
Well, that's not cheapskate. Subway sandwich is actually a very nice sandwich. It's very special. But no. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the hotel room and consummate. So that means you got to put your wiener in her no places. So, you do that first before you go anywhere. And then when you do that, then she's going to be very agreeable if you is the man for the job. You know what I'm saying? So then you go outside and you go, clubbing, have a good time, wherever, hit the streets of Philadelphia, Miami, whatever you're gonna be at, and you just have a good time. Go clubs, and then when you wind them down, they'll go Waffle House, take you out for a Subway sandwich.
I
On
want to
you.
I want to say, DJ, everything I said there, tell your wife that was not my personal advice to you. That was Dr. Chalice's advice. I would never call a woman, for that matter, a stewardess, a cum receptacle. I was playing a character, and I just want to point that out there. For
Yeah,
TMT,
him call your wife a cum dumpster. That's what he said.
Tell your wife I did not mean that about her or her friends.
Hey,
or the
but congratulations, man. I hope you guys have a great honeymoon, and I hope a lot of fucking and drinking goes on, because that's what it's all about right there, ladies and gentlemen. Make some memories.
Fucking and touching.
Make some memories.
Yes, ma'am. Ephraim Cassiano, who has a beautiful fucking name, says, finally able to catch a live stream live again. Yes.
Hey, all right. By the way, your last name, because I know Cassiano, it does sound like if you created keyboards, Cassiano.
I have to create the keyboard.
I have a Cassiano. I'm like, I just have a Casio. Shit.
All right. Now we're 45 minutes deep. We have
to. I gotta go pee soon. So
all right, just go pee now. Then just go pee now. We'll start the top 10 when you get back.
I ain't gonna do that.
Him got a little blood thriller.
I said no.
Blood thriller. He got to go.
I said
no.
no.
All right, then let's start the list. You fucking whore. What's your number 10?
Okay, so again, let's refresh it real quick. We're doing the top 10 horror movies in Love in the Dixon 76. We're doing the hot horror movies of 2012 to 2022. So again, I want to point out this was extremely hard and difficult list to make. Actually, it was, I would have rather have done the other top 10s that we've done before, because there's so many movies. I made the list. There was like 47 movies I had to pick from, and I had to pick the 10. So again, this is just a reflection. Again, we're not Siskel and Ebert. We're not giving you a definitive critic, score. It's just what we enjoyed. So my number 10 of best horror movies from 2012 to 2022, and I don't think I have.
Real quick, while you're looking that up, Jägerbomb says the Rusty Line channel is still up. There are 5 videos with 647 subs. Don't know what's happening. Maybe he started a new one just to get the lifeblood going.
Well, hey, if you guys go to the Rusty channel, Rusty Line's channel, and get him some subs up.
Good call, dude. Nice. Rusty, drop the link in the chat there, and everybody can go subscribe to you, man. Get you started again, my friend.
And the Jägerbomb will give you a Jägerbomb. That's
hell yeah.
So okay. So my number 10, I was just looking up the year that it came out in is 2018. Is The House That Jack Built with Matt Dillon.
Oh,
you know what? Again, again, I haven't said anything yet, so calm down. Matt Dillon, The House That Jack Built. He's portrayed. He's a serial killer, and it does a deep dive into his psyche, and it's also very much like Dante's Inferno. He goes through different levels of hell as he's recounting him being a serial killer, and it is a very gross movie. It's very grotesque and graphic. But again, Matt Dillon is so I hate to use the word charming, but he is. He's very charming, and he's very convincing. I don't know the way that he explains his art. Not, you know what I mean? Like, he's just one of those actors that he does such a great job with the character. And I did like the character, not as far, I'm not saying I endorse serial killers, but I felt it was so different and new and strange. That, and I've always loved the Dante's Inferno tale, and I think they did a really good job implementing that into this movie. And there is a supernatural element going on in the background as these serial killer things are happening, but they are able to blend them in really well. I just think it's a really unique, different type of movie on serial killers I've ever seen in my life, and so that's why it's number 10.
It's an excellent choice, dude. It didn't crack my top 10, but it did make my honorable mentions. It came in at like 14 for me. I went ahead and made like a way longer list, but I'm fucking with you, dude. I love that movie. That movie was really good. It makes you uncomfortable in all the right places. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like getting a finger in your butt.
Yeah, that's always the right way.
Kind of basically what's going on there. So I support that pick for sure. My number 10 is going to be The Devil's Candy. We reviewed this on the channel, I do believe. It stars it stars Mark with a C from Empire Records, Ethan Embry.
Oh yeah, I heard that's a good movie.
Yeah, he's fucking jacked in this movie. He's like ripped as shit. But this movie, I watched it again today. I watched 3 of these again today just to refresh myself on them. But it's a really good underrated movie about, like, it's so creepy how the devil works its way into the movie, and then there's like a child killer going on, and then he's being semi-possessed from living in this house, and then the relationship between it's a metal horror film, like, so not meta but metal. Ethan Embry's obsessed with metal music. His daughter is too, so it's a dad-daughter type film.
Is it Rachel Evan Wood?
Yeah. And their relationship, like the
Yeah,
dad and the daughter's relationship, is really well built throughout the movie, and their characters are really well built. So when stuff starts happening to them, you really care, and the demonic shit just feels nasty and disgusting and dark, and it's a really underrated movie in the scope of the metal/horror genre.
that's true.
I fucking love this movie. I was
And
shocked
also,
actually it made
and
my
you,
top 10, but it's
and you
really
don't
good.
really get a lot of people talking about Ethan Embry,
No,
which is
yeah,
great in it.
he was underrated as fuck in that movie. So yeah.
Okay, so my number 9, and I know this is gonna be, um, I mean, some people are gonna be like, "Of course it is, of course it is, Jay. You have a dick and you're an asshole, so of course it is." My number 9 is gonna be Halloween 2018. Now the reason why it's on the list, it's not because we are primarily a Halloween channel or Michael Myers, or obviously that's how a lot of you have discovered us is through our Michael Myers, Dr. Loomis portrayals. But it's because I think Halloween 2018 is synonymous with something like Batman Begins. It's what relaunched a series that had been dead in the water. It was DOA in a lot of fans' eyes after Halloween Resurrection, that kung fu to the nuts that Busta Rhymes delivered to all of us after Resurrection, and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. It was just pretty much dead in the water. And what they were able to do with Halloween 2018 is reboot a series and bring it to a new generation while paying homage to the older fans that have supported it through the years is a really unique, special thing. And I think they found the middle ground that is a real hard honey spot that most studios can't find. And it does remind me a lot of Nolan's Batman Begins, because if you look at Nolan's Batman Begins, the same type of, I don't know what they're going to do. Anything will be better than Batman and Robin. But what he didn't just up Batman and Robin. He actually made a solid story that stands on its own, unrelated to the other Batman films, or that doesn't have any throwback or like inspiration from not necessarily. And it doesn't need to be tied into an overall universe. It's Christopher Nolan's vision. And I think that Halloween 2018 did the same thing. So that's why it's up there.
I like it, Lars von Trier.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I really do. It's true.
Yeah.
My number 9 is going to be
If it was Halloween 2018, I was gonna be like, "You fucking bitch! You stole everything."
It's not.
Yeah.
My number 9 is going to be another IFC independent film. It's going to be The Autopsy of Jane.
Dude, that was in my honorable mentions. I've got an honorable mention list too, my son.
Yes, it's close. Yeah, dude, it's got to be like, it's got to
movie.
be. If you're talking about pure horror movies, it's got to be in the realm of when you look at these movies. And it's a hard list to make, by the way.
Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, it did, dude. And there's another one I went back and watched today. It's not just the scares that happen in this movie. It's the camaraderie between, and it's son father. It's not like buddy cop, but it's son father, Emil Hirsch and Brian Cox. Dude, Brian Cox is one of the most underrated.
Mm-hmm.
When that guy passes, everyone in the world is going to stop and go, "Oh fuck, we didn't appreciate him."
He's been in everything.
Yeah, and he's so good in this movie, and their connection, the son and father aspect, like the whole first half of the movie is not even like really horror. It's like these guys, it's a son and a dad, and they do autopsies in the basement of their house, and they have their own personal relationship, and the son puts on like rock music, and they're like doing the autopsies, and his dad's showing him the ropes of how to like figure out how these people died, and then the next thing you know, the supernatural shit just goes crazy, and they really do some great jump scares, some amazing scenery, the way that they utilize that setting, that in the basement of this house, or in this morgue, basically, they utilize the setting so good, and the charisma of their two lead actors should just make it, to me, again, one of the top 10 movies the past 10 fucking years. Horror.
That was up there. The Autopsy of Jane Doe, it almost made my top 10, and then also, and I didn't. It was never going to make my top 10, but a movie similar to that, or just kind of a weird, it kind of puts you in an uncomfortable conversation that happens between Emil Hirsch and Brian Cox. I think at some point during the film, talking about the attractiveness of the cadaver, the body. I think it happens. Is the Neon Demon, which is another fucked up movie. If you guys get it, it's gross. But anyway, the Autopsy of Jane Doe is extremely unique. Good choice. I like it. I like what you've done with your butt.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So my number 8 is going to be, and again, I know that people are going to be like, "God damn, did this asshole just go down fucking Kmart's toy aisle and pick out all the Ninja Turtles because it's popular?" But no, but I really did enjoy this movie, and I've seen this movie several times, and I gotta say, the way the director went about recreating certain shots and being as true to the original as they could be, and this is a sequel, but they also introduced new and unique characters that just carries the movie Dr. Sleep is my number 8. I think Dr. Sleep is it's funny. I think people sleep on this movie. I think that people I don't think people give it the credit that it's due.
You should write reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I should. I will give it a little quick blurb
with your pun game.
I think the thing is what makes it so unique and cool is the fact that it is a sequel to something that's classic, the Stanley Kubrick, The Shining. But it's classic in the sense that it stays true to that, but it also introduces the elements that Stephen King felt were lacking in the original Kubrick, because we all know what happened between King and Kubrick when the original Shining came out. So it stays true to both subject materials, and again, they introduce some amazing new characters. They do a great job with Danny. The fact that he grows up and he's fighting the alcoholism and his gift is still there. When they get back to the Overlook Hotel, and those shots that this director was able to recapture, and the music, goosebumps, dude, amazing. So it plays with nostalgia. It's still got a great story in the center of it, and it's got the horror elements that the original Shining had, and it's perfect. I just think it's a really awesome movie.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it. I haven't seen it since the theater, and I liked it. I thought it was well done.
I loved it. Yeah.
To me, it was just I'm not disagreeing with your pick, because I need to rewatch it. And you're way more into that shit than I am. Just on my side of the spectrum, it just didn't scare me like ever. Like it was, and I liked it. It was good, but it felt more like entertainment than horror in a way. I know that.
Maybe that's why I liked it more. I feel like it was a psychological. It makes you look at yourself, because it's dealing with family, and you're trying to get away from your dad and try to do your own thing. I don't know. It was really cool shit.
Also, I hate top hats, so that took away from it for me. I really don't like top hats, Jay. It's a thing.
Yeah, and she had sticky feet. I'll bet you $1 million.
Definitely. Hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to go take your pee break right now? I'll keep going down my list, and then when you get back, you can go down your list while I'm gone. Okay, that works then. And then, all right. So my number 8 is going to be Henry Cha Cha Cha, because I had to look at the list and I didn't know what to say. It's going to be a little movie called Bone Tomahawk. Sorry, Bone Tomahawk is the name of the movie. Did I spell tomahawk right? Hey, what the fuck was that? Tomahawk. Bone Tomahawk. Now, this movie is by a guy whose name I can't remember, but he also did a movie called Brawl. Craig Zahler, I think is his name. He did a movie called Brawl in Cell Block 99, which was equally just gnarly and grotesque in its violence and the way it did this whole thing. But Bone Tomahawk is a movie that stars fucking Kurt Russell, of all people. It's a long movie. It's like 2 hours and 17 minutes. No, that's Top Gun. This one's 2 hours and like 20 minutes or something like that. But it's a long ass movie, and it's a Western horror film. It's got Sid Haig in it. It's got Kurt Russell. It's got David Arquette. Him and Sid Haig both had small, tiny roles in it. It's got what's the guy's name that's in the fucking Conjuring movies that looks like the Home Depot guy, but he's not? Wilson, Thomas Zach Wilson. Fuck, what's his goddamn name? Anyways, it's got that guy in it. Dan Patrick. Fuck, what is his name? But anyways, Bone Tomahawk is a movie. It's a little slow. Like, it could have been way higher on this list, but it is a little slow of a movie, the way it works out. It's a slow-drawn Western. And what happens in Kurt Russell is the sheriff in this town, and these Indians come in, and they're not regular, not like a regular Indian tribe. They're like a fucked up, disowned, like the Indians like disown them, fucked up kind of tribe who just have their own way of doing things. And they kidnap this guy's wife, and they take them, and they live in their own little crazy little land over here. And these guys have to go on this trek. So a lot of the movies, this trek to go find the wife, and it's Kurt Russell and Matthew Fox, by the way, from Lost is in this and has a really good role in this. To me, he's always been an underrated actor. I know everybody looks at him as the dude from Lost, but I think Matthew Fox is just underrated as an actor. But this movie contains, horror-wise, the most grotesque, in my opinion, possibly the most mean scene, Gene, that has ever been portrayed on screen in the history of horror. It's like one of the top 10 meanest scenes in history. There's a scene where these cannibals take this guy, and in front of Kurt Russell, who's his friend, who's watching this happen, they scalp. He's alive. He's awake. They scalp him while he's awake and butt naked, by the way, with his dinghy just flopping all over the dirt. You can get an infection that way. They scalp him, and then they take his scalp while he's still alive, and they put it in his mouth, and they take like this poker thing, and they shove it down his throat. So he has to swallow his own scalp. But that's not all. Wait, there's more. They turn this dude upside down, and then they shove another pike, what I think is in his asshole, but it could be in his nut, in his, I don't know. But they shove it in between, like I think in his asshole, and they hit it down with like a hammer, and then they rip his butthole open, and his insides fall out of him. It is the single grossest scene I've maybe ever seen in my entire fucking life. It literally makes you're not just watching it going, oh, you walk away and your insides are like, I didn't need to fucking see that, dude. Like, I didn't need that image. Like, that didn't need to happen to me. I think this movie gave me fucking PTSD. But not only that, it's Kurt Russell in a Western movie, in a horror movie, and he's so fucking good in it. And the actors are also fucking good in it. By the way, Naked HD XYZ's here. It says, even losers fuck girls with us. So they came to the right place. They know exactly what we're all looking for here. Good for them. If one of the mods could kick them out, that'd be cool. But hey, it's a pretty good marketing scheme to come here. You know, we're all trying to get laid in life, especially on Memorial Day. But yeah, my number 8's Bone Tomahawk. Fucking great. If you get a chance and you got time and you want to watch a slow Western, but you also want some fucked up shit, you know, you want some spice on that shit, Bone Tomahawk is a fucking great goddamn movie for sure. Vinny says, it takes a man to do something like that. Yeah, fucked up, dude. Fucked up movie. And also check out Brawl in Cell Block 69. I feel like that's a different movie. 99 is what I was going with. All right, so my number 7, I got 3 indie films on here. And you guys are about to get a little mad at me. You're about to get a little upset. All right. I'm coming back with a vengeance as far as like more popular Universal movies. People aren't going to like this. But let me explain to you. Scream 5 is my number 7 movie. People are going to think that's too high. I understand it. Let me explain to you why it is that way for me. Because Scream, we did our top movies of all these big franchises, Halloween and all them, and as much as it may behoove some people and upset them, Scream, the original Scream, barely ranks higher for me than the original Halloween, just because I saw it in theaters. I was a part of that generation that witnessed it. It changed horror forever. So the Scream franchise is almost as equally important to me as Halloween. So it means a lot to me. And the fact that a good Scream movie came out, and again, I just want to reiterate, we are not saying these are the best 10 horror movies above all that have come out over the past 10 years. We are saying that these are our 10 favorite horror movies that have come out over the past 10 years. I understand Scream 5 has some issues. I get it. But for me, my favorite, rewatchability, all that shit, Scream 5 was very important to me. And though it wasn't perfect, no, it is, to me, it's so rewatchable. Radio Silence nailed so many things about the Scream franchise in this. The way that they would do the music cuts, the way that the camera would pan down on the students outside of Woodsboro, the way they did the red herrings, the way they did this entire movie was they somehow captured the essence of what Wes Craven did. And you may disagree about the killer reveals and whatnot and this and that, but again, we forget how lucky we are to have what we have, that a movie came in and it actually was able to take the nuance of what the great Wes Craven had done and recreate it in a way that didn't feel false and fake. It's not perfect, and it's not, I think we all thought it was going to shock the fuck out of us, but it's just a solid, well-oiled Scream movie. And to me, that's so important. That franchise is so important to me. It's enough to land the 7th spot in my top 10 for sure. I love this movie. Yeah.
God damn. You put Scream 5.
Fucking right, I did. And
that's a man that holds on to his guns no matter what the town ordinance is. We're not saying you can't own a gun. We're not saying you can't have a gun. You just can't carry a gun in town.
Hey, you're lucky you wasn't fucking higher.
Hey, dude, I had Bone Tomahawk. I had that. I almost consider that not in my top 10, but it was going to be my honorables.
All right, say your number 7 before I go. That way, I'll at least write it down. You can keep going down your list while I'm going.
All right, my number 7 is going to be It Follows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. Well, It Follows is one of those type of movies that came out. I didn't expect much of it when I first saw it. And then when I watched it, I'm like, holy shit, this is what happens when you don't use protection. A goddamn booger monster will track you down. This is the epitome of herpes tracking you down for the rest of your life because you made a poor choice. But no, in reality, it did scare me. I think it's one of those movies that came out that was truly unique. It was strange. It was weird. And like not only the fact that they also played around with the, in what time frame this particular movie took place in, because they look and act like they're in the 1970s, but they're using cell phones and things like that. So they don't really let you nail down a particular time period that this is happening in. So I don't know. It was just a weird movie. It was kind of like Napoleon Dynamite with fucking monsters in it. I don't know. It just made you feel weird, but also intrigued at the same time. It was one of the truly more unique, again, films that I had seen in a long time. And it was a shocking movie to me overall. I just felt like because it literally weaponizes sex in a lot of ways. In the fact that again, spoiler if you haven't seen it, in the way that if you have to get rid of it, you have to give it with exchange of bodily fluids to somebody else. That's the only way that you can get rid of it. And I was like, holy shit, is this about Ron Jeremy? But no, it was really scary, man. And then that tall dude oh my God, there's so many cool moments that happen in that movie that are fucking freaky. And then on top of that, the music, the score really adds to it. I think it adds to the flavor of the overall film. So that's my number 7. So my number 6 is Mama. My number 6 is Mama. It's interesting because we were talking earlier about grim fairy tales and about how that can be put into or made into a great mainstream movie. I think Mama is a grim fairy tale, a gothic horror movie come to life. Mama to me has great acting in it. It's got great atmosphere. It's got a great story. It's also got a heartfelt story in the center of it as well. I think it was like in the herky jerky of that bitch floating around, the ghost woman scared the shit out of me. But that's the visual horror part of it. But there was so much more. There were so many layers to this movie that I think that were well done. And again, the acting is top notch throughout the entire movie. The guy, and I can never say his name correctly. The guy that played Jamie Lannister, the main guy in the movie, amazing actor. Really conveys that he played 2 different parts in this particular movie. He plays the father and then the twin brother, and I think he does that incredibly well. I think he does a really good job playing both, because they both are characters with different motivations. And and again, it plays with so many different stereotypes, because the girl, was it Jessica Chastain? I think it might have been. I'm not 100% sure, but his girlfriend in that. I have my phone here. Let me look that up. I think it was the girlfriend in the movie. Is really good. She comes across as one way, and then she actually starts caring about the children, and again, such a great actress. Yes, it was Jessica Chastain. Such a great actress, that you buy it. Like, and I'm sure that's what Amber Turd wanted people to buy on the stand, that she was actually a victim. But, that didn't happen for her because she's a shitty actress. But unlike her, Jessica Chastain is a wonderful actress. So yeah, there was a lot about that movie that I think is just really, really unique and original and well thought out, and has a tone to it that you don't see a lot of. And again, I do like those gothic horror movies, and I definitely find this movie is the definition of a great gothic horror movie on the big screen. So that's my number 6. I might as well get to my number 5, since Mike is smoking on a pole. I mean, smoking a cigarette. My number 5, I just watched it again a few days ago. First time watching it with my wife, April. She'd never seen it before. Train to Busan. Now, this was a South Korean movie. I think it came out in... Let me double check. I think it came out... it came out in 2016. It was one of those movies. It's a zombie film, first and foremost. So, going in with expectations, didn't have much, didn't think it was gonna do much. But wow, what an incredible story overall. Like, the zombies are not overused, and they're not used as a crutch to tell the story. They're more peripheral in the movie. It's really a story about a father and daughter coming together and reconnecting, as well as the human element of the entire story that really ties it together. The zombie apocalypse that's happening around is just happening in the background, and I think they do an incredible job of showcasing that. It's actually a very sad movie. It's a very unique you know what? It's one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen in my life, period. And I'm glad as fuck that they wrote it. And as far as originality goes, it's up there. Like, George Romero. No, it's not Train to Busan.
Oh, I was guessing.
No.
What was it?
Number 6 was Mama.
Oh, okay.
I'm on Train to Busan by number 5.
Mama got 2 M's in it, or is it 1 M?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and then what was
Train to
5?
Busan is 5.
Oh, okay. So I was right. Okay.
Yeah, and again, and I've never been like I hate doing subtitles on films. I don't like reading them. But dude, to be honest, it was so enjoyable and the acting was so incredible that I was just blown away. The first time I saw it, I was like, wow, what a fucking movie. What an incredible story. And then I just happened to watch again with my wife the first time a couple of days ago. They dubbed it. The dub's not that good. The English dub is not that good, but it's still so good because it doesn't lose any of what makes it good. And what makes it good is the love between the father and the daughter in the middle of the movie. And the heart of this movie is a father-daughter relationship and coming back together after years apart and finding out that the father always loved her and he's worked for her and you know how he reacts to the other humans around him. And the horror is what's more horrific, the people, the way they act to each other, or the zombies? And which I like that they didn't they did not rely too much on the zombies to tell the story. The story was about that.
That in
zombie,
itself,
or the father and the daughter.
Yeah, and that in itself is a great nod to Romero, right? Because that's kind of what Romero did in his great zombie movies. It was more about
I feel like exactly, and I feel like what they did was they were like, we'll take what was special and unique about Romero when he tells his stories, and we're gonna inject that into our stories.
Yeah,
which is they try to do it, in my opinion, more unsuccessfully with World War Z. The novel is way better than the movie that we got, because the movie is just a lot of special effects and not amazing actors, but just not that good. And I'm actually scared because I know that Train to Busan is supposed to be remade for American audiences. It's gonna be probably called Train to Cleveland or some shit. I don't know. It makes me nervous because I don't know how well that's gonna go. Because these are American. I mean, I'm not saying The Ring was good. The Ring was an American remake, and it did really well, and so was The Grudge. But Train to Busan is so special. Or she said Train of Busan.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, it was the Busan train. It originated there. But no, I'm nervous, man. Cool. And again, I am not a huge foreign film fanatic at all. Like, I know that everybody loves like Suspiria and shit like that, and they love those overseas stuff. I'm not that kind of guy. But dude, Train to Busan is fucking amazing, dude.
I can't disagree with you there at all, obviously, but like, Mama didn't do it for me. Mama just killed a man. It was good, but I thought it where it landed at the end of it, like, it felt kind of like one of the Conjuring movies a little bit. But
I just liked it because it was a gothic tale, like a gothic horror movie.
I considered it because I do like that movie. It's just not that level for me. But I'll do 2 real quick because they kind of tie together a little bit with what you were just talking about, and I'll get caught up real quick with you. My number 6 though is going to be Creep. Now, this seems kind of high, I'm sure, to some people.
That's a good one. No, that's a good one. I always made my top 10 too.
Yeah, dude. What's the name of the guy that was in this? Fuck, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The dude from The League. With like this.
No, just I'll let you know.
Yeah, the dude with the sunken in eyes. I like this guy as an actor a whole lot, and I thought Creep was a fascinating, like really entertaining version of Scoop on like the found footage thing. Like, I think it's Mark Duplass. Yeah, Zachary Bloom got it. Mark Duplass.
Okay.
But I thought it was a fascinating found footage movie where it didn't have to do this whole, oh my God, fucking running thing. And it was a character study. And it's like watching a serial killer. So in a way, it was sort of like, what's the movie? The Legend of Fuck Me in the Fucking Mouth. Leslie Vernon. It was like Leslie Vernon as a found footage movie kind of.
Without the comedy.
Yeah, that was too. And it had some comedy in it because Mark Duplass played the character so fucked up with like the tubby time and shit like that. And he would put on the mask. And Creep was just, to me, it was like a fascinating fucking movie that's really rewatchable because he's so good in it and it's so creepy the way that they worked together. And then the way it ends as like this serial killer movie. I fucking adore that movie. And I thought it landed right in that perfect space between super entertaining and super like original, but also really fun for anybody to watch. Like, you could show, like, if you went out with friends on a Friday night and you want to watch something that's going to be fun to them, you know what I mean? Like the Friday night crowd, they would have fun with the movie like Creep, but it also has a lot of layers and shit to it. I adore that movie, man. I think it's great.
It reminds me of obsessed fans that go real too far. Like they think they're in a personal relationship with Johnny Depp. Like, he looked at me.
I could see
he looked at me. By the way, I think that Johnny Depp is innocent and justice for Johnny. I'm not saying that, but there are fucking weird fans.
Yeah,
super weird fans. Now. Like, it's like he waved at me. I'm gonna go on Twitter and say that I had his baby.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, people got nuts with it. But number 5 is going to be easy because you already said it because we both have the same at number 5.
That's
Train.
so weird. You said Train of Busan again, you son of a bitch. Don't
My
tell
brain is
people
broken.
yet.
My brain is so broken.
Hey, by the way, again, this is weird, dude. This is like a decade of movies, and Mike and I were not in the same room.
No, we didn't talk about this at all.
Literally with the same fucking rank, or at least the same spot for this movie. That's weird, man.
Yeah. I know, dude. It's fucking crazy. That's why I thought that's the one you were talking about. But no, you said it all about Train to Busan. You got it right, dude. It is such an underrated movie. It starts out a little bit slow, but dude, it checks every zombie box. It's just so sad, dude. I hate rewatching it because it makes me cry every time I fucking watch it, man.
Yeah, dude, I cry too. You know what's weird is, and I would judge anybody that didn't cry. Like when I watched it with April, and I was looking over, you always like eyeball someone when they're watching something you really like.
I hate it when you do that. By the way, if you've seen something and I haven't, whenever you show it to me, you're always like,
"Yeah, well, so
let me react in peace."
You play video games with your mouth open. Everybody's different.
I do a lot of shit with my mouth open.
But no, I know. But no, I was looking at her. I was like, when she cried at the same scenes that she was supposed to, I was like, okay, you pass. We'll stay married.
Yeah. By the way, that now you made me very, very. I just want you to know, very paranoid about having my mouth open when I play video games. Well, I do the same thing when I play guitar. I'm like.
No, I only knew that because we played Halo and I could hear you breathing.
I know. That's what I figured you were talking about. Thanks for telling me then, you fucking cunt. Well, anyways, what's your number 4?
It just sounds like you're having a good time with your mouth and your gameplay.
I would have tried to. By the way, Latrell 316 says, yes, Jay, love Dr. Sleep.
All right, man. Yeah, so. I love Dr. Sleep. Dr. Sleep, I think, is an underrated movie. But my number 4, and we talked about it, it was actually interesting because someone brought it up tonight, Brightburn.
Oh.
I think that Brightburn. Yeah, well, you know what? Listen, I have it so high on my list because it was the first time I'd ever seen an evil Superman on screen, and they didn't shy away from the horror elements to it because I think it exactly captures the idea of a young kid that's confused, or, whatever, doesn't know where he belongs, and then he has this sense of entitlement. And if the parents do a wrong job and he's got all these special gifts, he would become fucking psychotic. And if he becomes psychotic and he becomes like a serial killer type of guy with the powers of Superman, that's fucking scary on a global level. And I kind of liked it. And by the way, the scenes they played with in this movie, the girl, when she pulled the glass from her eye and shit, and then like the atmosphere with him, where he was like almost playing with his food, because of course he could just blow up the building if he wanted to. He's like Superman. He could just blow up the building with his x-ray vision. No, he wants to play with his fucking food before he goes in there and kills it off. All right.
Yeah,
I'm an apex predator, bitch. He wants
to play tonight.
Yeah, he wants to play with it. And dude, I think it was so unique because it plays with. It's cool to see these superhero type movies, but this is so dark and depraved what he does. And then he kills his own fucking dad by like laser beaming him through the fucking head in the forest and then dropping his mom from 1,000 feet in the air. Like insane, like crazy shit. And then acting like he's like an innocent myth. I'm just eating the bread. I can't believe it. What happened at the end of the movie? And what's like, dude, I feel like Brightburn can set itself up with some awesome sequels. I really hope they move with it. And I put it on there because it's the only time I've ever seen a superhero movie. And I'm not talking about Spawn or Blade. I'm talking about the only time I've ever seen a superhero movie that's revolving around a Superman-like figure that's pure horror. Yeah. And that's why I liked it.
And the comics do that sometimes. They don't, but they never went that far. Like, and I remember going to see Brightburn, and the second that car wreck scene happened or whatever, and that dude's jaw was like, that was fucked up. I was like, God damn it, man! Brightburn was great. It was in my honorable mentions. Didn't make my top 10, but it really was a good movie. So I totally agree with that. My number 4 is going to be.
Is it Halloween Kills?
No, it's not. Michael Parton, by the way, said they have Timo directing the American adaptation, so it might be okay. Talking about, I believe, Train to Busan. So I hope it is, man. I hope it is. My number 4 is going to be. It's going to again. I have to explain myself. I feel like, but it's going to be Halloween. Just kidding. Halloween 2018. Oh. And look, the reason why it's so high. Again, I want to reiterate: we are not saying these are the 10 best horror movies of the past decade.
Just what you enjoyed.
I never would come out and make a list of these are the definitive top 10 horror movies of the fucking decade. I would never.
Doesn't Lee McCoy do that?
I don't know. But like, I think anybody's top 10 is actually just their personal enjoyment. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what these lists are to me. I think that it's hard to say. I mean, I guess I do think that, but like, so the reason it's so high on the list is like, you said a bunch about it, and I agree with everything you said, but also How many Halloween movies in the franchise made half decent movies but they fucked up Michael Myers? Like Halloween 2018 came back. And how often, by the way, would you watch a Nightmare or a Jason specifically or a Halloween movie back in the day in the 80s and 90s when they would come out and you'd be like, fuck, I just want someone to take it seriously. I want someone to actually put money into it, someone who cares about it, not to try to do it for box office, not to try to do it for whatever's hot today, H2O, try to make a movie because you love the franchise and you want to make a really good movie. And despite whether or not it really it's not the original, it's never gonna be, but Halloween 2018 succeeded in that we actually got a movie that really cared and took the character so seriously. They did the best job they could possibly do with it, and they got Michael Myers fucking right. Chris Nelson in The Mask, top notch. How many Halloween sequels? Our favorite franchise, one of our favorite franchises, that never got the mask right, that never got the movements of Michael right, that never got the story right. Did they give away too much in marketing? Yes. Did people want more than what they got? In some cases, yes. But Halloween 2018 got Michael right. They got the cornerstones of the franchise right. They took it seriously. And I'm just, it's a huge movie in the realm of the Halloween franchise. Like, even if people hate it, I bet even the people who dislike it and were disappointed with it, I bet when you go back and you rank this franchise, this movie's at least in your top 5 Halloween movies of all time. And that's a big fucking deal. So my personal enjoyment, Michael, all that, it belongs there. It really does.
Think that Jason Blum I think he was like Doc Holliday when that came. We're not going to rival the original. And he's like, I beg to differ, sir. Remember, we had a pack for blood.
As long as it's like a close cousin, it's never going to rival it, like you said. But as long as it's in the realm,
Halloween's like, all right, Lunger, say when. Or whatever. I can't remember the exact quote. But yeah, Halloween 2018, man, without a doubt, it's up there. And by the way, I do want to reiterate again, it's all slap happy, easygoing with Lee. We're joking. I was joking.
Oh, yeah.
I want to also point out, when we do these top 10s, again, it's always about our enjoyment. Like, I always look at it when we do a top 10 list, if Blockbuster or Hollywood Video was still around, or Movie Gallery or what have you, or Suncoast Video. Suncoast Video wasn't a rental store, but nonetheless,
they're expensive as fuck too.
Yeah, you can buy. Yeah, that shit would like literally cost you your firstborn child, and be like, oh shit, it's been years later. You owe me. I went to Double Impact in 1994.
I went to that store like 300 times in my life, and I bought something maybe once.
Yeah, so but this is like if you had if those rental stores were still around, that these are the movies that you would pick. Like, you would just rent these movies if you could just rent these movies. Like, so that's all we're saying. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands that we're not trying to come at this from a critic response, like Siskel and Ebert or Ebert and Robert or anything like that. So anyway,
right.
My number 3 is going to be, and again, I think an incredible original movie. The director was awesome. And I love the Rocky type attitude this director had too, because again, he had never done shit like this before. It was his first time. Lights Out with My Pony Smasher. That's his name. Pony Smashers I think it was his Twitter handle. But the guy had never made a big, he never made a big budget movie. And Lights Out actually was an incredible movie. It was actually very atmospheric, very scary. It had something unique going for it. And in the way that it ends and the way that the story is told, you hadn't seen many things like that in a long time. It also had the belief of James Wan, I believe, that was on board with it. They actually wrote, James Wan wrote that the particular scene and the motel, or where the one chick is living, where the lights flashing from the street outside, you can see the neon light, and then she's appearing and reappearing. So many incredible scenes, so many incredible moments that they did. They played around with camera trickery. And I again, it's one of those movies that I enjoy because of the story. I think the story is really unique and it's really good. And I think that's better than having a movie where every 2 seconds there's a jump scare, because I think that's cheap. That's easy to do. Everyone's been doing it since fucking Psycho. I'm not saying that Psycho did it, but I'm saying that it's easy to do. It's easy to replicate. And I feel like when you have overabundance of jump scares, it's because you're lacking a central foundation of a story. So you're making it up by doing jump scares every 2 goddamn seconds. That's like that's like having no ability to really fuck, and so that's why you like say, I'll suck your titty real quick, or like it's like, it's just weird. It's just overstaying your foreplay. But yeah, I think that Lights Out is an incredible movie, man, and I would love to see a sequel to it, because they definitely left the door open for it, and I hope they get the same guy back. And there was a sequel in mind then nothing ever happened of it, and that was years ago. But we'll see. But Lights Out, I think, as far as originality goes, it's up there.
Yeah, that one actually came on my honorable mentions. It came in at like number 23 for me, but I like that movie a lot too. Like I really enjoyed it. And you're right, that guy, his story as becoming a director and being able to do that movie is so cool, man.
Like
and that, yeah, and to me, in my mind, like Lights Out is kind of up. It's like right around the mama territory, where to me it's, and this is just like my personal thing. Like I'm not right about this, but I just my personal thing where it does still fit into the Conjuring universe type of films. And spoiler alert, The Conjuring is not in my top 10. I know it'll be in a lot of people's, but like that movie just never, those movies have just never done it for me in the way, but I've always appreciated Lights Out and that movie. And I wish Insidious, by the way, fell in this 10 because I love that movie, but you're right. Yeah, dude, I love Lights Out.
Well, if Insidious had been inside the 2012 to 2022, it would have been in the top 5.
Yeah, for me, for sure. I fucking love that movie, man. And Lights Out was great too. My number 3 is going to be, I had to look and see what it is actually. This is fucking hilarious, dude. This is a movie that Jay and I both gave a kind of a negative review the first time we saw it. And that's wild. When you consider now this is like the biggest movie reversal ever for us. Is that now I'm sitting here and saying it's my number 3 best horror movie of the past decade. Was it Insidious
3?
No, it's the Evil Dead remake.
Oh, dude, I love that fucking movie. Yeah, I remember that. Dude, that was so close to cracking my top 10. I wanted it in there. I had alternates on my list, and it was so close to being in my top 10. It was fucking incredible.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know what we were smoking, what kind of crack we were on.
We were drunk.
We were drinking. But you go back and you watch this movie, and it's got everything you want in a fucking horror movie, man. It's got everything you want in a horror movie. And then it does that extra fucking cattle prod where it also shocks you in the ass because, like, it's got all the stuff you want in a horror movie as far as it's entertaining. It's a fucking roller coaster ride. It's all over the goddamn place. It's mean. But then they add that extra fucking poke where they're like, by the way, this is fucking gnarly as shit. Like, when people are taking glass and they're cutting their mouth open and the cinematography is beautiful on it. And they did, like, just this movie is a fucking ride. Yeah, dude, it is a popcorn ride to fucktown, and this movie it just checks all the boxes for horror, man. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's in your fucking face, it's got it all, man. This movie it stands out when you watch it. When you compare it to these other movies, it's still great, and these movies are all great, but this one stands out, and it's just so in your fucking face and mean, but also entertaining.
No, I like it, dude, and I'm glad that you had the cojones to bring it to your top 5. You brought it to the party and you said, I don't care if anybody doesn't. I don't care if you don't want Zima. I brought a whole case. Drink it.
Yeah.
It'll still get you drunk, Sally. You asshole. You guppy. But no, actually, to be honest with you, Evil Dead remake. Yeah, I remember it. And I think the reason why we gave it low scores originally, and I've seen that, dude. I definitely, that movie to me, I watch it every Halloween. I wanted to watch it again like a couple of weeks ago. There's something magic about it that brings you back to it for some reason. You want to watch it again because what they did was they honored the Evil Dead legacy, but they made it their own story. And it is a very cool idea, but I think that reason why we were pissed, and I don't think that we are, I mean, yes, obviously beer might have been a factor. I don't know. We drink ginger ale, so who said that? I don't know.
It was weird.
But I think it was because they overhyped it. They were very much in the process in the media of saying like people were passing out in the aisles, and I know this is their job, but it was like, okay, and you're rolling your eyes, and then you go and see it, and you're like, well, why can't you just like let it rely on its own merits? Yeah. It was a good movie. You didn't need to oversell it. It was already going to be received well. But
yeah, there was a lot of hyperbole going around.
I think there was a studio shit that maybe turned us off, and maybe we gave it a little bit of unfair skid marks.
Possibly, could be. I believe it.
So my number 2, interesting. Again, another plug, and not meaning to do this, guys, whatsoever. It just happened to pop in there, Ray. What popped in there? I tried to think, but number 2 is Sinister. I think Sinister is a very, 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 very unique bagul movie. It's got some great, and we just watched this. We watched this a few days ago, and I had forgot how really cool the cinematography is, and how amazing the music is, and how uncomfortable you feel watching it. Like somebody they're playing records backwards, like when you're seeing the death scenes. It's fucking scary, man. And the projector tapes that he finds up in the attic. And again, Ethan Hawke kills it. He's amazing. And I never thought I'd see Ethan Hawke in a horror movie like this, where he's the main protagonist. But of course, he does a wonderful job. But again, it really puts you in a mood. And you're fucking freaked out. You're kind of weirded out of the whole thing. And the way they keep it in dark, you know, when he's like always in the projector room and he's watching this stuff, you feel like you're watching it too. And like you're thinking in the back of your mind, what would I do? I mean, of course, I know what I would do. I leave my wife and kids and say, fuck you. I'm never coming back again. You all cursed. But I know what I would do. But it just it makes you feel uncomfortable. And Bagul itself, when he turns to look, you know, from the photo, the photo, it's scary because the idea is that, well, the boogeyman isn't really just limited to, well, you have to see him for him to come get you. The fact that he can see you from a photograph from 40 years ago and then look at you, that's scary. That's scary as fuck, dude. It really is scary. And I think that, again, I think it's one of those movies that, and I said this in the Patreon commentary that we did, it always gets lost. It's funny. No one ever mentions Sinister when they talk about amazing original horror score or not just the horror scores, because the score was great too, but horror movies and acting. It never gets mentioned. It always gets like pushed out because of Paranormal Activity or Conjuring or Insidious or whatever. But Sinister, I think, has a unique place, and that's why it's number 2. Because I think it sets itself apart really well enough to be its own thing.
It does. It finds that balance between a movie that is mainstream and everybody's seen, but also somehow feels forgotten about at the same time. Like it's that weird balance. Yep. And it's crazy, dude. Because my number 2 is fucking Sinister.
Dude, I swear to God, me and Mike are not butt fucking.
Well, we are, but like that's
but we're not telling secrets outside of school.
We did not talk about this list at all together. We made it separately. But yeah, dude, Sinister, I totally agree with you. And again, we just watched this like a week ago, and our full commentary is on the Patreon, patreon.com/we-watched-the-movie. I'll be brazen about it. I will. But like, dude, it's so scary. Like, and it's again another movie. And what's fun about this list, both of our lists, is Jay and I started this channel in 2012. All right. Yeah. So technically, this is our top 10 list of horror movies since we've been doing YouTube horror movie reviews, which is wild. And this is another movie that you and I had too many cervezas before we went to see, and it didn't sink into our skin the way it would have been had we gone in sober.
Well, I was looking at the chat, and I think that they're I think
all I see is fuck teen girls.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at that too, and I'm writing it down in my mind. I'm not writing it down with a pen because my wife is looking at me, but it's in my mind. I was looking at the lawnmower scene. Yes, actually, during the Patreon stream, Mike was freaking out with the lawnmower scene. Let me point out the death scenes in this were fucking great. All the death scenes were really good, but the lawnmower scene was very disturbing. I think that the most disturbing scene for me was the end. I think the ending of this movie was fucked up.
It was mean.
Because I don't want to spoil it because I know it's an older movie, but I want people that have never seen this or given it a chance to go and watch it. The ending of this movie, you think things are safe, and they do end it on a very typical horror movie, and you think everything is good, and then it's not good. All right, somebody forgot to pay their bills at O'Houlihan's, and they're coming for you.
I swear to God, if you say shenanigans one more time, I'm gonna pistol whip the shit out of you.
Hey, what's that restaurant with the goofy shit on the walls?
Shenanigans. Oh, but yeah, man, Sinister's just it really is underrated, and even for us, it was underrated. The first time we saw it, didn't really sink in the way that it should have. But upon rewatch, you go, "Fuck this movie!" And not only you get the great acting of Ethan Hawke to front it, and he's a writer looking like Johnny Depp in Secret Window with his fucking cardigan on, walking around.
That's a good movie
too. Again, I don't want to say too much. Like we said everything we could possibly say about it in the commentary. I feel like it was one of our better commentaries, so you just definitely check that out. But like, it's actually fucking scary. And you know what's wild about Sinister, dude, is they did a test group and they hooked a bunch of people up to like these heart monitors.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and they showed them some of the classic scary movies and some scary movies, and they monitored their heart rate. And Sinister, of all the Exorcist and everything else, which it's not scary in the Exorcist, let's just say that. But out of all these movies, when they were watching Sinister, their heart raised and like their heart rate and all that shit went up more for Sinister than it did for any other movie. So they were like, clinically speaking, Sinister's the scariest movie of all time. Now that I disagree with, but at the same time, it is underratedly, dude, when he's watching these tapes and like it's like found footage. It's like a meta found footage where he's sitting there watching these tapes, these found footage tapes, and you're seeing it through his eyes, but you're also watching it. And it's people hanging and getting a lawnmower over their fucking face or getting drowned in a pool. It is dark and fucked up. It's such a scary movie.
I think it's because you can literally put yourself in the shoes of Ethan Hawke. Like, again, it goes back to the actor's ability of bringing people in and relating to his character.
He's so good in it.
Because the fact, yeah, exactly. It's not the fact that he's a famous author or anything like that. It's just the fact that he seems like an everyday kind of dude. But this supernatural stuff is not really, something he's thinking about, and he's trying to make, a start, a fresh start, and he's trying to do a thing. So, and he doesn't come across as fearful, just more curious. And again, I feel like it's one of those things that people can relate to in a lot of ways. I feel like that's why Ethan Hawke was such a master actor in this movie, because he's able to bring in people in.
That's a great point by Stacy. He felt like a grounded Jack Torrance.
Dude, that's a great point. Yes,
shit,
yes, that's a great point.
That's an amazing
yeah,
point,
exactly.
So.
But yeah, again, incredible movie. And I just feel like, again, people don't give it the credit that it deserves. In the last 10 years, if you think of a movie that deserves to be in a top 5, I think Sinister would never be looked at, because there's so many other good movies that of course, there's a lot of good movies that came out, but Sinister, I think, is just one of those movies that got sandwiched between so many awesome movies that people kind of get it mixed up.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, so there's a lot of love for Sinister, but we mean it, Greg.
Okay, so my number 1.
Oh, I'm excited to hear this. I want to know.
Is Ghostbusters.
What's your number 1?
It's Ghostbusters.
2014.
That's right.
Answer the call.
You stupid shit.
Whatever the fuck.
Get it straight. 2016.
I didn't watch it.
It's the greatest fucking movie ever, you dumbass.
I don't care.
All women and doing mad jokes. It's so good. Men are
care.
stupid. No, my number 1 is and I know you know it's coming, but it's coming. It's coming.
I don't know it's coming.
I'm almost there. Oh.
I'll be shocked if it's my number 1. I will be.
The Conjuring. It's not going to be.
It's not The Conjuring?
It is The Conjuring. No, it's The Conjuring.
No, it's The Conjuring?
It's legit The Conjuring.
Legit The Conjuring?
Yeah.
Okay, I disagree with you a lot, but okay.
I know you do. I know. Well, Mike doesn't like this movie, and that's fine. But I think, to me personally, I think in the last 10 years, if you're going to look at a movie that at least somewhat gives you Exorcist type of thing, there's not been one movie in the last 10 years that have scared so many fucking people's assholes out of poop than The Conjuring. There was a lot of people that watched this movie that got terrified at the end of the movie when she gets possessed, that she's in the basement and all that shit's going on. It's very much like Linda Blair. I think that also you have Patrick Wilson. Is that his name? Patrick Wilson is an incredible actor as well.
That's his fucking name.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Very relatable. Vera Farmiga. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Forget my face.
Vera Farmiga.
Incredible actress.
So hot, her son wants to fuck her.
Oh my God. She's got it where it's going on. But this movie is shot in a way that fucking scared me, man. Like, and it's not even really about. I mean, of course, they have like the jump out scenes, like the bitch on top of the dresser, like, what are you gonna wear tomorrow? And she's all like spread eagle. That's fucking scary. But I think it's what goes on that you don't see that terrifies me. That scares me. When they were playing the hide and seek and the clap thing, that fucking scary. And it was like little simple things like that I think added up that really puts the movie ahead of a lot of these other movies. That it literally takes what worked for The Exorcist, which is creating and building an uncomfortable atmosphere, but ratcheting up the tension as you go. The music was good. Of course, the score was good. And then also having actors that you can believe that are in this particular situation, whether or not it was based on a true story. And I know that there's back and forths or whatever, but that's not going to hurt it. That's not going to hurt it that it was based on a true story. The Exorcist itself it's based on a true story. That's scary in the fact that even remotely this could happen. I think The Conjuring is a very, very unique movie. It's very, very scary. And again, you know what's really unique about it is that it's super scary and it's out there, it's otherworldly, but you find yourself wanting to know what happens at the end. You want to know. So you're gonna be involved and you're gonna invest yourself and see what happens. And again, Insidious would have been up here on my list if it had been in the 2012 value, but it wasn't. But The Conjuring, again, I feel like it's this generation's Exorcist for me. And I know that's speaking loud. I'm not telling tales outside of school for me personally. I think it's this generation's Conjuring because there's not been another movie that's come out like it. There's not been another movie that's come out like it. And again, yes, it was a big budget movie. So was The Exorcist in a lot of ways, but it has the same type of fright features to it. And of course, it's not original. It's not the new kid on the block. It's doing something that's been done before. But I think that it's done it in an updated way, and I feel like I I think what it does is people that don't like horror movies will watch it just because the story is good, and people that love horror movies will be entertained, but be kind of like whatever with the story. So I feel like it's that unique blend that makes it so special, and that's why it's number one for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to sit here and dump on your number one pick. I'm not going to do that. I'll be honest with you. I've always wished, much like with Avatar or what's the other movie I fucking hate that everybody else loves? Inception. I've always wished
You hate that movie?
Yeah, I think Inception blows.
You're a goddamn blasphemer.
I know, but like,
you go to church.
I feel the same way about The Conjuring, dude. I've watched that movie 10 times. And every time I go, I'm going to sit and I'm going to pay hardcore attention and I'm going to eventually get what everybody's raving about. And it just never does it for me, dude. And I'm not, again, I'm in the minority. You were in the right. Most people agree with you on this. But for me, just personally, I watch it and I see a popcorn flick. It never fucking scares me. And they gave the fucking clap thing away in the trailer. So that's gone. And then like, I always just lose interest like halfway through the film. I don't know why. I don't want to.
You know what? I was basing the reaction on too. It's like my brother, my brother Cody is more scared of horror movies than me. Which I know it's crazy that you can find someone that's worse than me. But dude, he came over like months ago or whatever. And we did like the top 10 Conjuring scares or whatever. And that part where she went, it fucking scared him. Like he was like, woo! He's like, look at that. He had goosebumps and shit. Like I think what it was I think they just presented the atmosphere in such a well-oiled way that people that maybe they don't watch horror movies all the time or whatever, they could just fall into and be like, because I mean, you got to put yourself back in the 70s when you went and see if you were alive then and you got to see The Exorcist on opening night, you were dealing with like, you thought you were going to go see something like Psycho or some bullshit like that. And then that movie came out and it fucking twisted your goddamn brain up and then jerked off your taint.
Yeah.
It scared the shit out of you. By the way, I will say on camera, 100%, The Exorcist is still the scariest movie of all time. I don't give a fuck.
I totally agree with that. I completely agree with that statement. But yeah, no, I get it, man. Like I can't argue with you. I mean, it's just my personal thing. But my number one's going to be Get Out. No, I got that wrong. It's going to be the Babadook. No, that's not what I fucking meant either. I was trying to.
I know that people were pitching that Babadook didn't make it, but I don't know.
God, it's going to be
Halloween Kills.
Counters too because we're in it. No, that's not fucking it either.
You know what's funny? I was almost put that in my fucking list because we were in it. We had a cameo
in the movie. Yeah,
I was gonna put it at number 10, but I was like, that's just stuff. Congratulations.
Let me change my battery so it doesn't go out while I'm giving my number one. 2 secs.
By the way, I did see someone that put the Babadook was childish. Yeah, the kid was the most annoying kid of all time. I had the Babadook almost in my top 10, but then ultimately I decided not to put it in. The Babadook it's a fun movie, and again I feel like it falls into the same type of situation as Mama. It's a gothic horror tale come to life. Look at that dumb shit asshole. That guy looks like he's trying to get free drinks at the bar. Tahiti Hut. But somebody had mentioned earlier that the Babadook was childish. I said I was going to put it in my top 10, but I ultimately decided because that kid is annoying as fuck. But it was
dude, he is.
But it was interesting. Jordan 22 says Hereditary. Dude, it was another one. That was another one. I didn't just like Mike doesn't like The Conjuring, I think Hereditary was overrated as well. I think Hereditary yes, there was shocking moments in it when the bitch's head comes the fuck off because she like has her head out the window because she ate too many peanuts. It's shocking, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't care. Like I've seen some shit, Jed, and that's not it.
No, I get where you're coming from. I agree with you on Hereditary, but it also is my actual number one. By
the way, that was not planned. I did not know. I wasn't trying to like dog shit in someone's Cheerios before they even talked. I literally didn't know.
It's number one,
but Mike knows what he's talking about, y'all.
Hereditary's my number one. Like, look, I get it. Like, it's a hard movie to judge because when the trailer came out, there was a huge buzz. Like, oh my god, oh my fucking god, oh my god. This is gonna be the scariest thing. And you and I and Cody sat around and watched the trailer, going, "Oh fuck, dude, no."
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, it was weird.
But like, yeah, Hereditary for me, it's hard to put it at number one. I didn't want to put it at number one because it's such a popular choice. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's gonna be a lot of people's. Like by nature, I fight against doing something. I'd love to do something surprising, crazy out there, or whatever. But for me, Hereditary is a movie I've watched probably 4 times now, and the thing about the movie is if you forget the hyperbole around it and you forget all the shit around it and you go, so I watched this movie in a theater by my fucking self. All right. After a third shift at work, and I go in there and the theater's decently full. And I'm like one seat away from another guy who's also by himself, which also never happened. Almost never happens.
Came together and had a lot of sexual activity.
I'm watching him. I'm reacting to it. And like 40 minutes in, I'm going, this isn't that bad. We're good here. This isn't that bad. And then certain scenes started happening. The pole scene happened, you know, other shit started happening. And I'm watching this guy and he's having the same reactions I am. We're both alone in the theater. And we're both like, oh, fuck no. Dude, when
you came together in a very cock in my butt way.
We did. We made out afterwards. But starting with the head pole scene, it's not so much the surprise of the head getting knocked out. It's the sick fucking feeling you get in your stomach when that kid is high as fuck. And he knows he just killed his sister. And then he drives home. He's putting all that behind it. He can't even handle it. So he just drives home. He gets out. He gets in his bed. And then the next morning, you hear Toni Collette.
I'm not laughing at you, but I'm just laughing at the situation because that shit's so fucking. It's not like you got a fucking. It's not like you got a ticket. You have your sister's dead body in the back seat.
I know. And he literally just like checks out.
Yeah.
Maybe the scariest scene in the entire movie is the next morning when he wakes up and you just hear Toni Collette screams and fuck, dude, it hits you at such a cellular level. It really gets to me. And then it literally changes your chemistry for the rest of the movie. So like it changes your chemistry because you have this sick fucking feeling in your stomach. And then you start to go through the rest of the movie. And now all of a sudden fucking people are on fucking fire. People are crawling on the goddamn ceiling. And then fucking old dudes are fucking hovering and their old fucking wieners are flying around everywhere. And it just
sounds like Applebee's.
It's to me, Hereditary as I know it's the obvious choice in so many situations, but like to me, Hereditary is this generation's Exorcist and how scary and fucked up. It's not the Exorcist.
No,
I don't know if you went all-time horror, it would be several spots behind.
If we went all-time horror, first off, I don't even think I think the Exorcist itself will always top out. It's my
for me too.
It's not even just it's scary, it's the best horror movie ever.
Yeah, but it's that for me. To me, the Hereditary cuts when it comes to the scares and the horror and the actual just fear and fucking sickness that a horror movie can make you feel, like the shockingness, like it just cuts deeper on a cellular level than any other movie on this list for me. So that's why it's my number one.
No, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I definitely feel like it takes you for a ride and then it turns it like the movie on its head. Especially when you know that Toni Collette, by the way, Toni Collette is so fucking good in that movie. Toni Collette deserved an award. Like I think she could have got an Oscar because she was so fucking awesome in that. And Toni Collette, I think, is a extremely underrated actress, by the way. I think what I personally, when I watched it, it kind of happened the same way with Paranormal Activity. I think that the media drives this over hypeness machine that when you watch it and they're trying to talk about like how this is like the most disturbing film in years and people were leaving passed out. I watched it. I'm like, you know what? It's not like that though. I watched it. I've seen worse shit than this. It was a good movie. I liked it a lot, but I feel like everything was overhyped. And again, I think ultimately that's what takes me back from it because it was like, all right, well, I they were wanting me to somehow feel like this shit. There were a lot of parts of that movie that were really well done and shot really well and it flows together, but then there was like artsy fartsy shit that happened and I'm like, nah, dog, that ain't me. I feel like fucking Randy from American Idol. Like, nah, that ain't me.
A24, right? Like it's gonna have that.
But I love A24. I've actually suggested A24. I think that was one of the studios I suggested to take over Michael after Blumhouse is done with it. A24. So I'm not saying, but I just feel like what happened with Hereditary, and it almost made my top 10 too, because I was like, I'm gonna throw it in there just because it was a unique story. I just feel like what happened is the same thing that happened with Evil Dead, the remake. I feel like people overhype it, and they leak these stories out to the media that people are being, they're passing out in the fucking seats, and they have to have someone will them out, and then you're like, you know what? And then you watch it, and you're like, it's not like that at all. Like, who the fuck watched this? Like a Christian, a 90-year-old Christian that never seen a horror movie in her life.
Dude, to me, the number one gauge that you'll have going into a movie, Dark Knight Rises, Hereditary, Halloween Kills, the number one gauge of how people are going to react to a movie is like it, but over how good the movie is, over how scary it is. The number one most important factor in people's reaction to movies, and now in the Rotten Tomatoes age, what sticks to the movie like a stink for the rest of the movie's life is expectation, which is bred from,
and I hate that,
marketing, which is bred from reactions. Stop fucking showing these movies to critics first.
I hate that.
Put them out in the fucking theater and make everybody watch them at the same goddamn time and experience them together. That's the way to fucking go. And like, it would change the movie industry, and it would change everything. And if I could change one thing about movies, that would be it. Fuck critics. Then we get screeners sometimes. Fuck us too. Let's all experience it together. So your taste isn't colored by what you're supposed to feel. You feel your own thing when you see a fucking movie, you know?
Well, let me dilute a little bit of what you're saying, because we're not critics. I mean, we're not, we're not like, I mean, I guess technically we are, but we're not really. And we give you our straight opinion. I mean, we're not paid by the studio. We're not paid by anybody to give a favorable review of a particular
nobody
movie.
is. That's a myth. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to speculate on it, because I mean, maybe people are. I don't fucking know. But my point being is, we're not. I know that we're not. I wish we were. If we're getting some butter, let me tell you something. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull will be the best movie I've ever seen in my life. I swear to God, if we're getting some butter for it. But either way, we're not. But the point being is, the overhype.
Tusk fucking ruled him.
The overhype machine that's happening in Hollywood is the problem.
Yeah.
Like, just
that's their jobs, though. That's their jobs.
No, it's their job, but let the people fucking decide. Like, don't put out fucking statements, and don't buy critics, and don't buy fucking review scores, and put that out there, and then you're shocked why people don't like it, because it was asshole. It was pure fucking stink. It was sewer water, and you wonder why, because you bought and paid for a fucking review. My point being is, like, listen. Make a movie that's unique, that's different. Actually put your heart and soul into the fucking goddamn movie. If you have a good story to tell, if you have a good horror movie, put your heart and soul into it, and let the people decide. Don't let critics decide. Let the people decide. That's what we've said before. I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes. I don't trust any of those motherfuckers. I've literally seen movies that they gave like a 5.5 to or 4.0 to, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
For me, Rotten Tomatoes will never stop me from seeing a movie I want to see. Right. But on the other hand, if I'm on the fence about a movie, if I don't really want to see a movie, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I just have no interest in it. I'm not going to see it. And then it also, but then also all the reviews are like, it's boring, it's trash. Then I'll go, okay, I'm not going to see it. You know what I mean? That's the only difference for me. But anyways, let me say this real quick.
Let me just say one more thing. We were Thor God of Thunder, or the new one, the Thor, whatever, what's it called? Thor Love and Rock and Roll, whatever the fuck it's called. I think people are coming in, and it's going to be great. We're just saying that personally, I don't care that much, or we don't care that much about Jane Foster being Lady Thor. And I know that Mike was getting some hate on that when he did the trailer reaction to it a few weeks ago. The point being is, like, there's a lot of people licking its ass for no fucking reason other than the fact that Thor now, or Lady Thor, is the big deal, and that's a media hype. That's for fucking clicks, and that's for retweets.
Yeah, all I was gonna say was I have to pee really bad, so what I figure we'll do, we're at pee break time. We're still gonna review Top Gun and talk a little bit more, but when I go pee, if you want to go through your honorable mentions and talk about them, and then when you go, I'll talk about mine.
I don't have a. Okay. I just have them circled, but I can do it. But I don't have a.
Yeah, do whatever you want to do, and then when we get back, we'll do the we'll go back. We've missed some super chats, so we'll go back through those. So be right back. Got to unleash the beast on the toilet.
I take that little wiener out.
Hey, you like my swimming trunks, dude?
No, they're nasty.
You like these fucking swimming trunks, dude?
Looks like you borrowed that from Pugsley Adams from the Adams Family.
Look at these white ass fucking legs, dude.
I know, dude. That's gross. It looks like
you want to shove your face in there, right? No. Don't you? You want to put your face inside of there? You know you do.
That's athlete's foot on a jock. So my honorable mentions, and by the way, thank you guys for sticking around with us. And I'm sorry it goes off the rails sometimes. We both have ADD. I have ADHD. Mike has ADD. And I'm really happy and glad that you guys stick around with us and talk, because that's what this is all about. We're lonely. So I have actually a pretty good amount of honorable mentions here. I'm just going to go through them really quick. Quick fire here. Um, VHS from 2012. VHS was actually the only horror movie. There was one particular story about, I think that it was the siren. I like you. Oh, it made me pass out. I literally passed out. VHS because it scared the fuck out of me. I That was scary. I don't know. VHS, the original VHS from 2012 was a great what was a collection of horror stories presented on films. Really good. Um 2013, I had Dark Skies, a UFO abduction story. Pretty good, not the best, but it was up there. Still enjoyed myself. No big deal. Green Inferno. They tried to label this as the next coming of the Cannibal Holocaust. It was not that. It was still a decent movie. I didn't mind it that much. I, you know, I put up with it. But again, Green Inferno to me is not like the most amazing movie of all. There's a lot of people that say, "Oh my god, have you seen the Green Inferno?" I was like, "No, I've not weed eated in a while, so I've not gone through my own Green Inferno." Green Inferno is good though if you get a chance. Contracted was another 2013 film, nasty as shit. Basically, this chick that it's kind of a zombie movie. It's also another situation where STDs are involved. But if you want to watch Contracted, I recommend a barf bag. It is very nasty. This lady gets a virus or some type of bacteria, and she's fucking changing, and her face is getting fucked up. And anyway, I don't want to give it away because Contracted is not normally on people's lips when they talk about horror movies. But Contracted is a very, very good, solid horror movie with some surprises in it. Evil Dead remake. I think Mike put it. Evil Dead remake was in there. I love Evil Dead remake. The Purge, 2013. The Purge was the first time I'd ever seen something like that. The fact that people could do whatever they wanted to do, and it's not Black Friday. They could just go crazy on a particular day. I thought was pretty unique and interesting, and also some great actors and actresses in that as well. The first Purge, I thought it was pretty cool. Another one from 2013 is Insidious 2. Insidious 1 was such a great, awesome movie. Amazing, unique in its own way. And then they come back with a follow-up with the sequel. Insidious 2 picks up and does what the first one did, but they just add to it. They add some flavor to it. They don't change anything necessarily. I think Insidious 2 is a great movie. It just didn't make the top 10. 2014, I put Clown. Clown is a movie. I think you can rent it on Amazon. It might be on some other paid subscription service, but Clown is an awesome story. Clown is basically about a guy that's trying to be, so he's like a businessman or something, and his daughter requested a clown for her birthday party. The clown cancels because he's drunk over there at fucking Texas Roadhouse, and he decides to, he's not a lawyer. I think he's a realtor, and he finds an old clown costume at one of the properties that he repossessed, and he puts the clown costume on to be the clown for his daughter's wedding. The problem is the clown costume won't come the fuck off. It's stuck to him like herpes. It's stuck to him like cum, like dried up cum. And the more he pulls it off, it's nasty. Like he's pulling off his nose, but it's actually attached. Do yourself a favor and watch Clown. It's freaking insanely good. It's really good. Also, another one that was that I didn't get to put on there because it was an honorable mention was As Above, So Below. Really good movie. Again, deals with the Dante's Inferno type of situation. Takes place in was it France? They go into the crypt that France is known for. I can't remember the name. The actual crypt they call it, but really, really well done. Not so much scary, more of an action horror, but pretty good. 2015, I had Insidious 3. I love that. Lin Shaye was in all the Insidious movies. She's amazing. She's amazing. She's an amazing actress. But in Insidious 3, it shows her beginnings. Good. Loved it. And then 2016, The Catacombs. Stacey James, thank you so much. Chris Galton says Clown sounds awesome. Dude, do yourself a favor and watch Clown. If you guys have never seen Clown, watch Clown. It's some good shits. My chat is fucking up. Hold on. I'm trying to keep up with you guys, but my shits is dude, Stephanie, she said a clown is actually really claustrophobic. Yes, imagine you put on a clown or some kind of costume and you can't get it off. That's exactly it's exactly holy shit. 2016 Split, we all know why. Okay, James McAvoy, incredible actor. Split is a horror movie, even though they try to play it. They play around with it. Terrifier, unique fucking movie, and I think someone mentioned it before. Terrifier was almost on my list, but I didn't ultimately put it on there because I've seen that type of. And again, I'm not trying to say they were going for that, but I've seen that kind of a shock horror that they presented in the movie. Autopsy of Joan Doe, that was on my honorable mentions. We mentioned that. Cloverfield Lane came out in 2016. I think that was an incredible Hitchcockian type of story that they could have played with, but ultimately it just kind of makes you feel I wasted this much time on this.
Yeah.
Fuck. And then I also have two more. I'm gonna go with quick because I gotta go pee too. In 2016, Blair Witch the remake. I used to hate it, and then it's kind of the same thing with you with Evil Dead the remake. I found myself watching it and enjoying it more and more. I think they do a really good job of bringing back the past and introducing new shit to it. It's obviously it's an action horror movie, but they do a good job with it. And then Hush. Hush was a great fucking movie too. It's about literally a deaf woman that lives by herself out in the middle of nowhere, and this mass killer starts stalking her. And again, she is deaf, so that disability is there, and then she has to overcome that to, survive the night. And it's very much like Strangers, but like the protagonist in this is deaf. And imagine that you have a disability like that, and now you have to survive the night with a killer that's just outside your door, but you can't hear anything. I mean, it's fucking scary.
Hush rule, dude. That was good. Mike Flanagan fucking rocks. I think that was Mike Flanagan movie for sure.
Yeah. All right, well, that's why I'm gonna go now. It's 2 hours.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. And then when Jay gets back, we'll catch up on the super chats and we'll go into Top Gun. Yes, we will. Yes, we fucking will. So, all right, while Jay's gone, I'm going to go through my honorable mentions. And now there's a lot of stuff that was almost in the list. So I'll just kind of go through it together. My number 11, I actually ranked a bunch more. But my number 11, and I forgot some in there, so this ranking isn't official, but like Ready or Not, I thought was a fucking awesome film. 2019 also came from Radio Silence, who did Scream 5. I thought Ready or Not, Samara Weaving's just an underrated actress. She's amazing. That movie was fun. It was horrific. It had comedy. It felt like a Scream movie in a way. Like, that's why I thought that they were the perfect directors to do Scream. So I love Ready or Not. The remake of It, part 2 didn't really get to me that bad, but part 1, the remake of It, I thought was great. I thought, man, that scene when they're doing when they have the theater setting and he comes out, like, scared the fuck out of me. The first It was a little overlong, but still really good. Cheap Thrills, 2013's Cheap Thrills is a movie that a lot of people probably haven't heard of. And it's more like black comedy thriller, but it's literally listed on IMDb as a horror film as well, so it counts. That movie was like a 10 for me. I love that movie. I thought it was great. If you're looking for a wild, crazy, fun movie to watch Cheap Thrills. I promise you'll be entertained throughout. The House That Jack Built, Jay mentioned, that was one of my lists. That was great. I love that movie. Netflix's The Invitation was a fantastic fucking cult movie. About a cult. The way that whole thing played out, it was so uncomfortable. It was so weird. And at the end with the lanterns and you see them lit up, that fucked with me. I thought The Invitation was really fucking good. VHS, 2012. It was, it created its own franchise. They've done 4 VHS movies now. And that girl that was like, I like you, that whole thing, that was really good. We've seen found footage before, but mixing found footage with the anthology and doing it the way they did it and promoting it the way they did, I thought that deserves a nod. A24's The Black Coat's Daughter almost made the list. I find that movie, if you're really okay with a slow burn, The Black Coat's Daughter I watched on a whim, and I did not expect to get as fucking scared as I got. Black Coat's Daughter scared the fucking shit out of me. It really did the first time I watched it, but I get that it's very slow for some people. So a lot of people really don't fucking vibe with that movie the way I did. Tusk, Kevin Smith's Tusk is a movie that gets a lot of shit, but I find it to be a great horror movie. I think that, oh, what's the kid's name that's in that? He's such a good fucking actor, and he never gets the credit he deserves. I can't think of it. He's the same guy from Accepted. Love that guy. He was in Waiting as well. I'm sure you guys will say it. Any other time, I'd be able to tell you his name. But I thought Tusk was a really good comedy that turned into a horror film that had some body horror shit that was going on that was actually freaky and scary and funny. I think Tusk is an underrated Kevin Smith movie. Get Out, a little lower in my list than it would be for a lot of people. I thought Get Out was great. I thought Get Out was a really good original horror story that got to hit the masses. And it's the same thing, really, I feel about Jordan Peele as a whole. Like, I love that he exists, and I love the movies that he does exist. Us, the same way. Get Out to me is way better than Us, but I absolutely love that he gets the love that he gets. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think as a scary horror movie, I think it's a little bit overrated, but I do think it's a really good movie. So it's high on my list for sure. I thought Get Out was a great original story. Crawl, Alexander Aha's Crawl was a really good movie about being in a fucked up situation with alligators, and the girl who was in that was amazing. Crawl was awesome. It Follows is up there for me. Jay already mentioned that one. I thought that one was a little overhyped and overrated, but I still liked it. Ryan Reynolds in The Voices was a great serial killer movie, a great comedic serial killer movie. I thought that was a really fun movie to go see. Lights Out, we talked about that one. That's on my list. One that won't be on a lot of people's list that's on mine is The Possession. Now this stars, man, my brain is just not working tonight. What is the guy's name in The Possession? I'm actually going to look this one up because it's pissing me off. The Possession was the dude who was in Walking Dead that played Negan, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. The Possession hit me in a weird way. We went to see it. It was supposed to be this fly-by-night. Nobody gives a shit about horror movie. But when it got to the end and then that morgue setting and the little girls fucking crazing out, scared me, got to me on a deep level. I really like that movie. I think it's underrated, but I realize I'm in the minority on that. The Possession for most people is a very Conjuring-esque jump scare type film, but it got me. The Sacrament is a movie that is about basically Jim Jones, sort of found footage. I believe it was Ty West that did it. I think it was. I think The Sacrament was really good, a really fun movie about the whole Jim Jones thing. I like that. Brightburn, we talked about that. X, I didn't like it as much as everybody else did, but I thought it was a really good slasher movie. Also a Ty West film. Host was a big deal. I love that movie. It shocked the shit out of people with just a short, like 1 hour and 10-minute movie or whatever that came out during the pandemic that just had some great jump scares. Really fun found footage type of movie using Zoom. Anything for Jackson is a movie that we've talked about on the channel multiple times. It's on Shudder. It's funny. It's demonic. It's fucked up. It's got the whole package for horror. Son with Andy Matichak is a totally underrated movie. I thought that was great. The Babadook comes in after that. I know that's low for a lot of people. The kid annoyed me. The story I thought was really dreary and depressing. It's not a fun watch, but it still had some good horror elements to it. Candyman, the remake, I thought was really good. Well done. Had some great slasher kills in it. Army of the Dead had some fun zombie Zack Snyderisms to it. Some touches on the Dawn of the Dead thing, as good as that was. Parasite, obviously. To me, that's more of a thriller, fucked up, weird movie, but it was still a good horror movie. Overlord, underrated as fuck, zombie-ish type Wolfenstein movie. That got to me good. The Strangers 2, Pray at Night, underrated, fucking awesome, fun, 80s type slasher feel to it. Doesn't get enough love. A Quiet Place, obviously everybody loves that. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. It's a little bit oversaturated and a little too commercial, but still a really good movie. And then finally, Gerald's Game. I thought Gerald's Game was... Oh, sorry, Jay, I didn't realize you were back. I was fucking running my mouth.
As you normally do.
I do. That's what I do.
Cock.
I talk a lot when I don't have penis in my mouth. But Gerald's Game, dude, I thought was actually way scarier than it had any right to be on Netflix.
Yeah.
For a Stephen King story, that one got to me a little bit. So that was fun. So that's my fucking entire...
I haven't... Yeah, well, I wasn't done. Well, yeah, so you went through your whole one?
Yeah.
All your honorables? So I didn't... yeah, Gerald's Game, I haven't seen it even now. To this day.
Green Room. Sorry. Yes. Green Room.
Yeah. I haven't seen it to this day. I definitely, I would have put it on my, at least I would have considered it, but I never got a chance to watch it. But, yeah. So I'll just go real quick. 2017, I have Alien Covenant. I think Alien Covenant was extremely fucking scary. I think what I liked about it was David is shown as a homicidal maniac, and what he does to the I can't remember her name for Prometheus. It's fucking sick and disgusting because remember at the end of Prometheus, they're friends, right? And then he betrays her in the most disgusting way, and then after she's dead, starts experimenting on her body, creating the aliens that we know. And I just think it's fucked up. And there's like special deleted scenes of Alien Covenant that really shows the depravity of David, which is Dr. Shaw. Yes, Haddonfield 88. Thank you, Dr. Shaw. It was fucking nasty, dude. You just imagine putting your trust in this person and then they betray you in this monumental way, and then they use your ovaries. Like he was operating our vagina. Like he was like doing disgusting shit. Like, I mean, this was like goddamn Dr. Kevorkian and stuff. But yeah, I also had It from 2017. I think It was obviously it for all intents and purposes. The TV series from the early 90s was incredible. It was good. I mean, you can't get better than what the TV series was. Tim Curry was irreplaceable as Pennywise, but the movie, the remake in 2017, I think they nail it. I think they get exactly what Stephen King was going for, and it was well done. And again, it's one of those movies that's unique because it's the heart of the story. The Losers Club is the heart of the story. The horror stuff is just elemental. It's just around it, but it was really well done. Get Out was in 2017. I think Get Out was unique and different. Obviously, Jordan Peele did a great job with it. You go in expecting one thing, and then it leads you down a path of another. And I also liked the fact that it was a comedic guy that got his chance. You know, I like that you don't all get pigeonholed into one particular field. Just because he's a comedy writer doesn't mean that he's not able or, he doesn't have the ability to tell great stories. And Get Out was an original, unique story. A Quiet Place was in there as well for all intents. I'm not going to go into that. We all know why Quiet Place was good. It was also Krasinski's first movie. John Krasinski did great, not only as the director, but also as one of the main stars. Emily Blunt was great. Awesome movie. 2020. Now this one, I think You Should Have Left with Kevin Bacon. It actually underrated. Got really extremely underrated. I think he gets bad press. I mean, I don't know. Again, I like those stories of people having to face the consequences of the decisions they've made in life and doing a Dante's Inferno type of situation. I think it was a really unique type of storytelling way they approached it. And also Kevin Bacon's incredible. And again, we've always maintained that Kevin Bacon would be an incredible Freddy Krueger, but nonetheless, Kevin Bacon was awesome in it. And You Should Have Left is one of those movies that stand out to me as unique. And then, in 2021, there's not Sun was great. Awesome movie, really well done, incredible, extremely scary and strange. And Andy Matiachek, she did great too.
Oh fuck, I said her name wrong again. God damn it.
Awesome actress. And the story itself is unique and different and it kind of disturbing in a lot of ways. But it's also telling you how far will you go for your kid, I guess, in some way. Candyman. The reinvention of Candyman was unique and different. The actor that played him was great. I think that they could have. The reason why I didn't make my top 10 is like Tony Todd was already incredible, and honestly, with today's technology, there was really no reason to recap. I mean, you could have just done Tony Todd and done some CGI shit on his face, and it would have been fine. But nonetheless, Candyman is cool. Malignant, I liked Malignant. Was an action type of horror movie with a nice M. Night Shyamalan ending to it, which I did enjoy. And then the last one is Halloween Kills. It's the first movie that really lets Michael cut loose and foot loose. It's Sunday evening, and Kenny Loggins is on the air, and we're just ready to kill some people. And I did like the fact that the bad guy wins. I thought it was pretty cool because you really never saw much of this. Michael Myers literally at the end of the movie wins. So I think most people were in the theater were like, he better fucking not be that better not be fucking it. And then he slices and dices.
Halloween Kills, I forgot to mention, but that would be on my honorable mentions too. Yeah, for sure.
Iron Wolf, by the way, says Under the Skin was creepy. What? I don't. Are you talking about the one with
Scarlett Johansson.
I was thinking no. What was that one that we called
That's
we
the one with
reviewed it
Antonio Banderas.
in Her Skin. Maybe
I think that was The Skin I Live In. Maybe.
Oh no, I don't know. That movie was fucked up, dude. That movie, the Antonio Banderas one, incredible horror movie.
That was
Incredible horror movie.
Yeah, Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson never really did it for me. Like I thought that was just really fucking boring. Dude, you know one thing that people in the chat have been mentioning that, and so to be fair, when I make these lists, I go on IMDb and I search the years and I search the genre. So it didn't pop up because of genre, but I feel like we both missed on this. You guys are right. The Guest. The Guest was 2014. It wasn't on my list at all because it didn't pull up in the sorting that I went through.
Well,
but
you know, how I did it was you know, I would do something simple like 2012 horror movies or 2013 horror movies, and then it lists popular horror movies by a year. But then they also categorize each movie. The problem is with The Guest, I feel The Guest is incredible, by the way. Awesome movie. But I never looked at that movie as a horror movie. Like The Babysitter came up too, and The Babysitter is an incredible movie, but I don't consider those horror movies. I feel like they're more action dramas. The Guest is I understand why people would consider it because he's a serial killer, or it's a very much like a serial killer or slasher movie. But I always feel like it's just this guy's a fucked up nut that's dealing with. I feel like it's a thriller. Like,
put it this way,
it's hard to figure out. If you look at the line that separates thriller from horror, it's hard to figure out.
Yeah, I'll put it to you this way: if The Guest was considered horror, it would probably make both of our top tens. That we both love it that fucking much. But I guess and again, I always go by, just to keep it fair and to keep it clear, I just go by IMDb's listing for movies, because when these production companies put the movie up there, they list the genres it's in. So The Guest itself, I guess, when they put it on there, they literally didn't list it as a horror movie, so I guess it doesn't count as a horror movie. Also, but if it does, it's that fucking good. It is a great movie.
For me, and I don't know. I mean, some of you guys might be like this, but when I was looking up the movies, I went to Google, and I didn't go to IMDb because I need to see the covers. Like sometimes that's what sparks the memory in me. Yeah. Like if I see the cover or the cover art, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that movie. If I just read the fucking title, I'm like, I don't know what that's about. And then it's like, oh, you remember this goddamn cover on the VH? I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that shit. Like if somebody said Nick of Time with Johnny Depp and Christopher Walken, I'd be like, I don't know that. And then if they show me the cover, like, oh yeah, I remember that. But it's like but that's why I miss those like Blockbusters and Hollywood video places, because dude, that was what the best part was, because you could forget a movie for a long fucking time, and then you walk in the aisles of the greatness, the aisles of Valhalla, and you're looking at VHS tapes with their covers, and you're like, oh shit, I remember seeing that on TV, or I remember seeing that a long time ago, and then you were like, then the memories flood back.
Yeah, I missed that too. And also another thing the chat's saying, there's a lot of Midsommar going in the chat. The Midsommar actually legit doesn't make my list or my honorable mentions. Like, I'll say this about Midsommar, is the first half of the movie gave me that same sense of dread and anxiety that Hereditary did. But to me, where Hereditary took that and it placed it in the second half of the film and it landed that and it used it, Midsommar took that anxiety the first half of the film gives you and shit the bed. Like, I did not like the second half of Midsommar.
I've never seen it. I still haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I thought they went way too far with it, and it just didn't work for me. So that's why Midsommar is not my list. It's not a movie for me for sure. But
yeah, I gotta still watch it just because. But
yeah, I don't think you'll like it, to be honest with you.
I know. I read the recap of it, and then when I read about it, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I think someone said it perfectly. They were like, they were going for shock and awe. It wasn't really a horror movie. They were just going for shock and awe.
It just got, they went too much to the dark side on that. Like, they had something good going for them, and then they just, I thought they shit the bed with it. Like, kind of like some people feel like M. Night did with The Village. That's, to me, that's Ari Aster's.
Or Amber Heard did on Johnny Depp's pillow.
You got to take a shit on it sometimes.
Sometimes you got to poop.
Okay, so let's catch up on the super chats.
I want to say real quick, Decker, is The Lighthouse considered horror? It actually pops up if you go to Google. It does pop up as a horror movie, but again, I feel like you can distinguish that with a thriller. I feel like it's a thriller movie.
Yeah, and it definitely wouldn't have made my top 10 either way, even as a horror movie.
Let me ask you a question: if you remember that movie Alec Baldwin, Malice, is in here? I'm God. When he's a surgeon, that could be considered a horror movie, but it's a thriller movie. Malice, yeah. But
Yeah, I get that for sure. Like, there's a lot of movies that fall into that category too, which is why if you do like a top 100, it'd be like impossible. But all right, getting through some of your all super chats before we do our Top Gun Maverick review, spoiler free, by the way. Danger Zone says, I'd have loved for the older cop in H40 to give some, I was there in 78 and this is what I saw type of exposition instead of the younger cop just going on and on about goddamn banh mi sandwich.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I like that too. I like it's cool that when you have when they cast an actor and they're supposed to be portraying like I knew what was going on before you had braces, and he's like the old wizened cop that's up on Michael. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it definitely makes the audience more attention. Their attention is drawn more to that than the other. Like, yeah, motherfuckers, I like bagels with cream cheese.
Everything bagels. Yeah, I think the reason they did that, dude, is because like I think they were saving that for H Kills because you saw a lot of that in H Kills. I think they were really trying to put that off into that point. But I get your point for sure. John N, thanks, dude. Appreciate that. He says the house that Jack built is amazing.
Dude, I think so. And you know what? It would have been a lot higher on my list. But I think I've seen movies before that portray serial killers. That was unique in of itself. The first time and Matt Dillon, I never in a million years would have guessed Matt Dillon would do something like that, but he's incredible, dude. And that story with Virgil, the whole Dante's Inferno thing, it just makes it so cool. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a movie that stands out. There's no doubt about that. Chris Gaetan, thank you, sir. Says Jay, Dr. Sleep rules. Director's cut is even better. Mike, Creep is super underrated. In my opinion, the best horror film of the decade is hands down The Babadook.
The Babadook was actually it was in our honorable mentions. I think it was in both of ours. I think it's just the kid, man. The kid's so fucking annoying. I just want to slap some cheese in that bitch's face.
And the movie is so depressing. Like oh man, like
it does make you feel uncomfortable though.
Rewatchability has a lot to say about it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a hard movie to rewatch. Every time I watch it, I just go, fuck.
You know what's really weird? If that movie had come out during the lockdown, it's 100%.
Well, yeah, dude. Like, I think a lot of people
because she's locked down in that environment only with that kid and those beliefs. Oh my god,
that's a good fucking point, dude. John N also says Jay has one of the coolest rooms ever. Room tour. This has been a discussion that has gone on for some time.
Yeah. Listen, I would do a room tour, but there's a huge dildo collection that would immediately get us banned on this side. You can't see.
And smelled it.
It's got so many. There's some with rhinestones. There's some that's imported from Siberia. There's one with the Jurassic Park logo. But no, look, I will do. But there's not much to see. I mean, you're seeing most of it. There's a couple of action figures or something that you're not seeing. But you know what? If you guys want to see it, I will do a room tour for you. It's not gonna. It's gonna be like 2 minutes. It's gonna be 3 minutes or something. Yeah.
Ash Lockhart, hey, good to see you. I hadn't seen in a while, my friend. Says the collection will be my top 10 for 2012. Another thing to note is during those years, you all had you had all the very bad B movies, Sharknado, Piranha.
That's true.
Now the collection is one I thought about.
I was on there,
Ash, and
I didn't put it in my
It would have been in mine, but actually, the collection is okay. I got you. So the collection's 2012. Yeah. To me, the collection wasn't as good as the collector. The collector, had it been in that, it would have been in my list. The collection didn't quite reach that for me, though. But yeah.
I like the collector better. But I mean, and I went back and watched the collection, so I'm not one of those assholes that just only watched the sequel because it had a bigger budget. But the collection was fine. I just, it was fun. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be my top 10. I didn't even put it in my honorable mentions, but it would be my top 25.
Yeah, but it wasn't at the same time. It wasn't a terrible sequel. Michael Parton says Hereditary is this decade's The Shining. I get that. I get that too, dude. I do get that. I really do. Ash Lockhart says your next podcast, you guys should do what movies you would like to see transformed into a horror movie. Mine would be a mix of horror version of The Abyss. That'd be a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, as far as horror movies, or movies transferred into a horror movie, I really couldn't think of any off the top of my head.
The only thing that comes to my head is Bingo, the dog movie Bingo. If you go back and rewatch that movie, it's fucked up. No, Bingo, like the movie.
No, I know Bingo, the Bingo, but it'd be like
fucked up. What happens to that dog? No, it wouldn't be the dog like Cujo attacking people. It's what happens to the dog. It's fucked up.
I think the only movie I watched that was closest to doing that, and they didn't really go all the way, but I totally consider it a horror movie. Like they could easily do it. There's two movies actually. Wizard of Oz, you can make that a fucking horror movie. Oh my
We could.
god, easy.
We could.
And
Yeah.
then Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, make that motherfucker because
That'd be easy.
Willy Wonka is a psycho. He's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
And I'm sure if we sat down and thought about it, we could come up with a lot of
Yeah.
better examples, Ash. That's actually a good idea. I like it. Lil Ass, or no, Lee Ass says the sense of dread in Hereditary is crazy. Exactly. It gets
Yeah, that's
inside of
true.
my soul and makes me want to throw up. Like I hate it, but it does something to you, man. It really does.
Little ass, it makes me feel like I have a poop ass. It does.
I got a poopy butt. Anthony Fitzgerald says, "How do you feel about David Gordon Green directing the new Exorcist movies come up?" That's a great question.
You know, I'm torn on it, man. David Gordon Green has proven himself as a very reliable and good director with what he's done with Halloween. But to me, The Exorcist is so non-touchable. I mean, I feel like what they put together in the early 70s with The Exorcist is so well done that it holds up even today. That many years later, it's still incredibly scary and incredibly atmospheric. You know, I'm interested to see if they're going to do something different with it, but at the same time, you also saw The Exorcist 2, and it was a recap of what happened in The Exorcist 1. It was fucking terrible. It was awful. It was a shitty movie. God damn, I'd rather be pumping gas than watching that fucking movie. So I feel like David Gordon Green, yes, it's cool that he's on board and it's going to be a cool production. Obviously, they're going to put some love and effort into it, but it makes me wonder, what else can you do with that? What can you do with The Exorcist that's not really been explored in the original? It's kind of like the question that goes back to Psycho when they did it in 2001 with Vince Vaughn. They just copy and paste it every fucking scene.
Yeah, it's a great question, Anthony. Like it really is. Now, I happen to know, like we happen to know that like some of the best parts of the crew of Halloween 2018 are going to be working on The Exorcist, which that part excites me a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like the people who are responsible for the best parts of Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills are going to be in part working.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
on The Exorcist, which is very exciting. That being said, The Exorcist is like this hallowed territory where it's like it's in both of our opinions. We don't agree on everything. We both agree that Exorcist is bar none the scariest fucking movie that's ever existed on planet Earth. You know, so remaking that is, and whether they do a legacy sequel or how they do it, like it's going to be tough. It's going to be really fucking hard to do it. But I'll say this: I cannot wait to sit. And going back to the conversation we were having before, I wish that they wouldn't show shit to critics before they show it to us. I hope they don't show that to critics and we get to walk in the theater and go, is this movie going to be ass or is it going to be fucking amazing? I'm very excited about the prospect of sitting in a movie theater watching David Gordon Green's The Exorcist and seeing what happens. Like, I'm very excited to see. I can't
By
wait.
the way, I agree with a lot of the chat. Yeah, Stephanie, Mizzy, all you guys. Exorcist 3 is awesome. Holy fuck.
Rules.
The Exorcist Part 3 is really good and
great detective movie.
It's really good. And you know, give some love up to can't remember his name, the guy that played Chucky.
Brad Dourif.
Awesome in that goddamn movie. Really well done. And you know, it's weird that you see a threequel that outperforms the sequel because that's exactly what happened. And that happened years later. And yeah, so you know, I take it with a grain of salt. You know, I hope it's good, but it can also be terrible and catastrophic because if you move too far away from what the original material is, you risk the chance of losing your audience. So
yeah, that's a big fucking thing to handle. Like, I think doing Halloween's one thing because like Halloween fans are gonna love an iteration of Michael, but The Exorcist is not the same. You got to make us if you're gonna do an Exorcist movie, you can't just get Reagan right. You got to get that fucking movie right. So that's gonna be a really big.
You got to tax some fucking buildings, bitch.
You got to get your ass out there and find that goddamn dog.
You got to start a gang.
Just turn a gang into a colony. Arthur Vega, thank you very much for that super sweet super chat, my friend. We appreciate that. He says, hey, Mike and Jay, enjoy the channel. Random question, but what would you guys think if 2018's Halloween ended with a firefighter scene from Halloween Kills? Oh, that would be wild. That's an interesting point.
I didn't find with that. I think that the way Halloween 2018 ended was good, but if they'd ended with an action sequence like that nobody knew about, that wasn't shown in trailers at all.
Yeah.
I
That's
think Halloween
interesting.
2018 would have actually been skyrocketed to higher heights than it is right now. I think that
Yeah.
if you had kept that scene secret in your butthole and kept it in your prison wallet and then pulled it out right when you needed to pass it off on the yard
Yeah.
and then said, "Hey, this firefighter scene we're going to film, but nobody knows about it, dude." That might have made Halloween 2018 maybe the number one fucking movie.
And
Maybe the
then
number one.
they couldn't have ruined it in the fucking trailers.
No.
Damn, dude, that's fucking interesting as shit, Arthur. Good point, dude.
That's a
Yes.
really good point. I like
I'm
that.
fucking with you,
That's a
dude.
good one.
Michael Parton, thank you, sir. He says, "Are there any video nasties you guys have seen and liked? I've seen most of them, and the majority of them are not that good. I can't."
Video nasties? What is that?
Yeah, like,
Like
movies that came out back in the day that were branded as video nasties, and they got banned because they were like gross and old school. Like, we've
oh,
watched a couple, we've reviewed a couple on Patreon and stuff like that. But I'm with
I
you,
hate doing that.
Michael.
I don't like doing that shit.
Yeah, dude. Like, I think that those movies that are just pure shock, gross, gore value
Yeah.
and don't have anything to them, they feel like the worst of Rob Zombie. They just make me feel gross about humanity, and I'm like, I don't enjoy watching that. Like, they have their place, but I don't enjoy it. I just never have.
Yeah. And as far as video nasties, the only movie I remember watching that I was like, oh fuck. But then I wound up enjoying it was The Toxic Avenger, which is a trauma studio. But I was a kid. I was literally like fucking 14 or 13 or 12 when I watched The Toxic Avenger. Because it's funny, it's like I don't know why nobody parents groups didn't come after them because it's almost like Camel cigarettes. The Camel like wearing sunglasses and they're cool. The
Yeah.
Toxic Avenger box art looks like it's a superhero movie. Like he looks like
your ass.
and then you look and you watch it, you're like, God damn. Like even a full-grown man that's a veteran from Vietnam might be like, damn, this is fucking gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, I video nasties. I never watched the Antichrist because I knew what that was about with Willem Dafoe, and apparently that's amazing acting. I don't want to watch that. And then there's another movie that's a foreign film, Siberian film or the Siberian whatever, which is supposed to be the most gross film ever. I guess I would say the only video nasty that I've ever watched and I thought it was pretty cool was Human Centipede.
Oh yeah, that I think that would
I will
count.
cut you at your knees. I think that the Human Centipede is probably the only video nasty that I was like, I get what they were going for. They weren't going for just shock and awe. They were going for like a decent story with some crazy shit happening. So I got it.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one too, but I feel the same way, dude. Colton Kaler says, rewatch Top Gun, the OG today. I swear the guy that sends Maverick and Goose to Top Gun looks like he could be Loomis's brother. You might know what he's talking about. I don't.
I haven't watched the original in a while, but maybe.
But it gives us a good reason to rewatch it, Colton.
I love actually when I watched Top Gun Maverick, I wanted to go back and watch the original right away. That's what it makes you do. That's what it makes you do, though.
Yeah. And we're getting to that super soon for sure. Lyric, thank you, says, "What's up, dudes? Great content like always."
Thanks so much, Lyric.
Thank you, my friend. And you look like you were just a fucking dude I'd like to party with. Like
that guy looks like he's gonna drop a rap album in no time.
He's got a Jacksonville Jaguars jersey. I think that's going on. There was his lady. Let's have a beer together sometime, Lyric. Appreciate it, man. Anthony C says, "We are still here. Didn't see it or just hated it." Funny, Ted Goagan directed this movie called We Are Still Here, and it's actually really fucking good. Like, really fucking good. Probably missed that in the honorable mentions. I only saw it once, maybe twice, and really was shocked at the.
I don't think I saw it.
It was really good, dude. Yeah, it was a surprisingly good movie. But Anthony C, your comment has its purpose here because if anybody wants some random ass horror movie to go see, We Are Still Here. It got to me a little bit. That was a pretty damn good movie. Good
Sounds like a DMV like line.
Yeah, there's these
like
people
when they have to close up for lunch. Like, we are still here.
Yeah.
You didn't hear us.
It was pretty goddamn good, dude.
No.
It's one of those straight to VOD movies that like you almost forget about, but it was actually pretty impressive. Foxhound, thank you very much for that sweet super chat, my friend. Dr. Sleep, theatrical or extended?
I'm gonna go with the extended. I think that any movie that's that good deserves the extended cut, so I'm gonna go with the extended. I think that Dr. Sleep is one of those movies. I really do feel like Dr. Sleep is so slept on A lot of people just don't consider, because again, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining is so universally beloved that when they were doing a sequel to it, that nobody was like, yeah, I mean, they're doing a sequel to The Shining. It's kind of, but dude, it was so well acted. It was so well directed. I would go with the extended. Just I love those kind of movies that you get every little piece from it. I wanted more from it. I wanted an additional 20 minutes with the movie. But yeah, I would go with the extended.
I have not seen the extended cut, so I am not allowed to have an opinion, my friend. But
Mm.
I do need to rewatch Doctor Sleep. I do. It just, to me, Doctor Sleep, like when I watched it, it felt like a really good streamlined Walmart version of a sequel to The Shining. Like it was never
Nah, dog.
disturbing. It was just good. Like I don't
Nah,
know.
you ain't
Like
gonna
it's just
throw
never.
Walmart. Maybe like JC Penney.
Yeah,
Maybe JC Penney.
JC
Like
Penney's
that's
got
just the
some nice
mall.
stuff.
That's in the
Yeah,
mall.
I need to go back and rewatch it for sure. All right, now
Yeah,
we're
let's
at
get
the
in there.
point.
Let's get in there.
Top Gun Maverick. Hey, we're gonna keep it spoiler free. It's pretty easy too because there's not a whole lot of crazy spoilers. But Top Gun Maverick, man,
God
holy
damn.
shit, dude.
I loved
Fucking.
it. I had no like expectations going into this movie at all. When I watched it, I was like, Top Gun to me is a classic film. It's an awesome movie. It's pure 80s. The Top Gun film. Tom Cruise is awesome in it. Val Kilmer is awesome in it. So when I went and seen Top Gun Maverick, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be whatever. It's like it's like cotton candy in the sun. It ain't gonna be nothing to write home about. But goddamn, was I wrong? Because what they did was they built on the legacy and the legend of the first movie, and they put the movie on top of that, and then they proceeded onward. I was not annoyed, which I thought I would be, specifically when they were talking about Goose's son being the center, Miles Teller being the center piece of the movie, with
Great
Tom
actor.
Cruise focusing on that. Oh, Miles Teller's amazing. I thought I was gonna be annoyed as fuck, but no, man. When I cried, I sent Mike a text after I got done watching this movie, and I said, "Dude, I cried twice watching this movie." And then you said something, and I said that to April when I was watching it. They don't make movies like this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This was like, and you said it, pure 80s magic back in the theater in 2022.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I felt. I had, it took you from the highs to the lows. It had a great soundtrack. It had a great cast. The chemistry was on point. Everybody it just felt like it flowed. I never got bored. And honestly,
2 hours and 17 minutes long. That's a feat.
Yeah, and I never, and I'll tell you. I mean, there's a part, the parts that I cried. I'm not gonna tell you all of them because I don't want to spoil it. But there's one part with and Val Kilmer is in this, and they do a really good, honorable job of bringing Iceman back in this. There's a moment between Tom Cruise and Iceman that I cried, man. I fucking cried. I'm like that. It was so nice to see. And it means so much to so many people's childhood to see these guys interact again after so many years. It really did just, make you feel like, I don't know, something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, incredible movie. And the soundtrack was on point. And they even played the old school Top Gun theme at the very beginning of the movie. And they play it somewhere in the middle of the movie. And it makes you get goosebumps up your spine hole. And you're like, dude, this is fucking cool. And then I was like, God, if I was only younger, I would join the naval airspace, whatever the fuck I have to do. But dude, it was so, and you could tell Tom Cruise was enjoying it. You could tell everybody put their heart and soul in this. And by the way, I gotta point out again, I just gotta say this: Miles Teller really fucking delivered, dude, because he looks like fucking Anthony Edwards. He looks like Goose. And he has the mustache shit. He has the mustachio. He looks like the guy. And dude, and again, it's non-spoiler, but oh my God, if you love Top Gun and you love that story, you gotta do yourself a favor and see this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. Like, so I took my 12-year-old to see it, and my wife went to see it with me too. And we went to see it, and we sat there and we watched it. And you know, my 12-year-old never seen Top Gun the original. So first thing I want to say is they do a great job. If you've never seen it, or if you watched it a while ago, you don't need to go back and watch Top Gun, because they do a great job of showing you where we're at, what's going on, and how that's going. It's amazing, dude, because you almost can't put your finger on why it's so fucking good. Like, you watch it and you come out going, I just watched something I haven't seen in fucking 15 years. And I don't even know what it is. And I'll tell you what it is. It's the fact there's no CGI. They got in those fucking planes. They filmed those goddamn scenes. They did all that shit straight up. No CGI, none of that bullshit. And I think a lot of people, me included, thought that this was going to be like a jerk off to Tom Cruise fest.
Yeah.
Which, him as an actor, by the way, him as a person's whatever, but him as an actor, you have to respect. Like, he goes in and he puts his life on the fucking line to make these movies, not just as a producer, but in the actor and like all the stunts and shit that he does. You have to respect that. You don't get that now. Tom Cruise is probably the only cock-swinging motherfucker who can walk into a room and say, this is how we're fucking doing it. Suck my dick. No CGI, no Marvel bullshit. We're making a fucking hardcore, old school 80s action movie. And he's one of the only people out of 5 on the planet Earth that could pull this movie off. And they did. And it was beautiful. Now, I'm not the biggest Top Gun fan. I think Top Gun has its place. And I love the music. And I love the volleyball. And I love the feels to it. And I love all that stuff. But as a movie, to me, it was the stakes were never high enough in the original. Like, you know what I mean? Like they did the training, and I know they did the fighting at the end.
Yeah.
This movie actually manages to do it all. And in my opinion, it's way better than the original, by the way.
Ooh, I don't know. Well,
it manages to capture all the good stuff about the original. But
Yeah.
the second half of the movie manages to do what the original never did, which was put stakes on it. It put so much stakes on it.
They're so good.
And action scenes,
Trump stakes.
It put action scenes on it. The ending goes further than you think it's going to go. You think it's just going to be this thing, and then it goes further, and you're like, oh my God, we're Owen Wilson behind enemy lines. Really cool stuff, the way they do that stuff. And it's the perfect mix of, it's an ode. It's basically it's the master print to any legacy sequel.
Yeah.
They touch just enough on the original to pull in the old fans, and then they push it forward, and then they actually use today's technology to make what they did then better. It's just shockingly fucking good, man. It's shockingly good.
What I loved the most about it was the fact that it wasn't embarrassed by its 80s roots. It wasn't embarrassed by that this movie came out in 1987 or 1988 or whatever year it came. What they did was like, we're going to embrace that, and we're going to use that as a platform to launch this movie from.
Yeah.
And I think that was the best part about it, because what it did was it retained that special magic that the original Top Gun had. And you know what? I felt it all the way through. There's a scene in this particular, you know, I got emotional with the original Top Gun. I thought the original Top Gun, it was a very popcorny movie for sure. I mean, Val Kilmer himself actually, you know, had to come back later on and he said, I was just doing this for a paycheck. I mean, it was a very popcorny movie, but it was a special type of movie. It was once in a lifetime type of movie, deals for a lot of these actors. But what they do is they have these special moments that are reflected in this sequel. And like I said, I cried in the first one. I thought the first one, you know, especially with Goose, I thought they built up the relationship between Tom Cruise and Anthony Edwards really well. And you know, when he dies, it's shocking. Spoiler alert, by the way. If you guys haven't seen fucking Top Gun, I mean, you need to leave your mom's basement. But Jesus Christ, if your mom's still giving you fucking like Bible stories that you watch on DVD.
That's true. I think it surpasses the spoiler thing.
I mean, this is not a spoiler. Like, Anthony Edwards is dead. Goose is dead. But they have a scene that's very sad and very poignant in the movie, where Miles Teller, which again is playing Goose's son, is singing Great Balls of Fire in the bar scene.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah.
And I got teary-eyed. Because he's standing outside the bar and he's watching this, and then they do it so smartly. This film does it so smartly. They have a flashback when he's seeing him and Goose, his best friend, singing to this kid, this little kid, Bradley, that's now fully grown and looking like Goose, playing the same song that he used to sing to him when he was on top of the piano. And I was like, dude, that's beautiful. That that just connected with me, because I don't know. That was like, it's like if me and Mike were like old farts now and like used to sing to his daughter or something, and then she was like going to be doing this Air Force thing. If we were like,
Yeah.
if we were as badass as anyway. But my point being is like it was very emotional when I watched that, when I seen that, and then I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. But let's talk about the camera work too. My god.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned it too. They were like, when he was doing the canyons, when they were doing
and he's like,
every fucking thing about it was so well done, dude.
yeah.
And you could tell these guys poured love and heart and soul into each fucking scene, into each camera sequence. It was incredible. It was incredible, by the way. If you guys know, when you say Top Gun, you know those camera angles they worked with in the original Top Gun. Those are here in the sequel, but they're even better. Like, because the cameras are even better than they were in the 80s.
Well, they did this thing where like, so if you're picturing, like, as an audience member, you're picturing Tom Cruise and you know what age he is, and you know for a fact that they're doing this like legit, like they're in there. He even comes out, like they actually have Tom Cruise come out before the movie starts, who's like, hey, thanks for coming. I'm glad you're watching this in the theater. The G's are real. The fighters are real. Like, all this stuff's real. And when you watch it, it's funny because when Tom Cruise actually does the shit, you can see him struggling and like getting sick. Like the moments that you're talking about where he's in the canyon and he's like, you know what I mean? Like he's doing that shit. It's crazy to watch because, like, I know that this isn't real.
It's real,
but
Mike.
we're also but we were watching a 50-plus-year-old guy who's putting his life at risk, literally putting
like
his
O.J.
life
Simpson
at risk in this fucking fighter pilot, and those noises and the turns and the intensity is real. And we will never look, not just because movie making in the old days was what it was and CGI and stuff is today. Forget all that shit. We will never again, between his Mission Impossible movies and what he's doing here with these movies, see something this legit with an actor. I really believe that. Like,
no, that's probably true.
He has climbed over his whole Scientology and whatever stuff by being this.
Well, he's still a Scientologist.
Well, no, I'm just saying though, like what I'm saying is all the stuff about Tom Cruise. He might be who he is as a person, okay? But what he does, you saw the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning trailer that came out before this. The heart and soul, despite how he is as a person, this guy, his heart and soul is the movie experience, and it is movies. And this movie very easily could have been a fly-by-night fucking cash grab bullshit movie. When it's all said and done and Tom Cruise is dead and gone, all right? We will look back at this movie and the Mission Impossible movies, and we will go, that man may have been the last movie star. And he probably, I won't be surprised if we find out, if you hear the news one day that Tom Cruise is dead on the set of whatever movie doing a stunt, will you be surprised? I fucking won't be. That guy, for whatever he is as a person, you have to respect how he feels about movies, Well,
I think that Tom Cruise did a good job. I also think the writers and the director like made this movie possible. They actually had been trying to make this movie for 30 fucking years. Like this movie was not like yesterday, and they were like, let's make a Top Gun sequel. They actually had said before that they were trying to get this movie off the ground for a long time, and Tom Cruise had said multiple times and repeatedly that, no, you know what, it's not good enough. I don't want to do it. No. Whatever. They had to get the script right, and they had to get the movie right. And then that's ultimately why Tom Cruise agreed to be in it. And Tom Cruise is an incredible actor. I think he's an asshole in real life. I think he's a fucking poser, but that's my opinion on him in his personal life. I think as an actor, he's a great actor, but there's a lot of actors like that. But I think that Tom Cruise does an incredible job. And I think that, him holding out for a sequel this many years pays off for him. And it pays off, not only his bank account, but, in also, making a movie relevant again in a lot of ways. I got to be honest. I don't like Tom Cruise. I don't. I think that Tom Cruise is
a lot of people don't. Yeah.
Well, I think Tom Cruise is a piece of shit. I mean, straight up. I mean, the fact that you're going to make your wife fucking get pregnant, a birth quiet because of your religion. Anyway, I don't like Tom Cruise. I think
Mhm.
Tom Cruise is a fucking psycho in real life, but I think he's a great actor, and I think that he does come back to the role of Maverick, and he does a good job. And I do like to see this. I do like to see a resurgence in interest in 80s movies. And the fact that they didn't just have a resurgence of Top Gun, the original movie, they captured that spirit. They
Yeah.
captured that spirit and they put it in a 2022 movie.
Mhm.
The only other movie that, as far as sequels go, that he's ever been in was Mission Impossible. He's never done sequels to any of his fucking movies before. So it's actually interesting that the one of the biggest movies of his career that he
Yeah.
comes back and he nails it. And again, I don't blame him for wanting the script to be perfect, which it is perfect.
Mhm.
And you know, and it makes you wonder because, by the way, I don't want to give spoilers away here. But the way the movie ends, they could definitely go off on their own. You know what I mean? Because I feel like this movie ends in a way that's considered passing torches
Yeah,
if
but
they
yeah,
wanted to.
yuck. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Tom Cruise, I also feel like they could have made this movie like 10 years ago without him. But I'm just saying, I think that if you could have Val Kilmer in it a lot longer ago, I think Val Kilmer would have sold the fucking movie. I think that Val Kilmer would have sold the movie. I mean, I know why they needed Tom Cruise because he didn't get throat cancer. But Val Kilmer I think, is a better actor than Tom Cruise. I've always thought that. I think that Tom Cruise is a good actor, but I think that Val Kilmer has always been a superior actor, but he got cut down just like fucking Marty McFly. Michael
Mhm.
J. Fox is an incredible
Yeah.
actor that got cut down by sickness. But nonetheless, I was impressed with this movie and I did cry. I told Mike 2 times watching it. I did. I cried twice watching this fucking movie. It's an incredible fucking movie. And if you were a fan of the original Top Gun, I mean, you got it. You got it in spades in this
It's
movie.
it's yeah. To paint a picture of this movie, it was so funny, dude. Like the one scene with Jennifer Connelly when she walks out of the car and she leaves the door open behind her. You know, some guy in the audience, everything got quiet, and some guy in the audience went, "Oh!" And then when one scene in the end happened, where you thought Tom Cruise may die, and I won't say whether he did or didn't or whatever, but like when you thought something in peril was going
Oh
to
yeah, I know
happen,
you're. Yeah.
the same guy went, "He's too old to do a sequel." Like right when it was quiet, some guy went, "He's too old to do a sequel," and everybody in the theater went, "Oh God, shut the fuck up."
Did you think? Did you
Um,
think yourself though? Did you think at one point during the movie that they're like, okay, well they're gonna do a traditional hero saves the day.
well, I can't
And
say because I don't want to give spoiler
well, no,
away, but
I
like
know,
there were
but no,
several
it's not a
points
spoiler.
where
But I mean, did you think they were gonna do like hero saves the day, and then you know what happens?
I thought it actually had me on my toes. Like I thought a couple times, I thought this is gonna happen. Okay, it didn't. This is gonna happen. Okay, it didn't. They did a good job of that. Um, they do have to jump through some hoops, you know, from
Mhm.
time to time to explain to the audience where we are, who this person is, what's going on. It takes a little bit to get going,
Do
and
you think? Let
they
me
do
ask
a
you a
great.
question. Do
Well,
you
hang
think
on.
they could?
They, they do a great job of like honoring the original movie, but not making it too much of the original movie, but
Mhm.
also, you know, really raising the stakes as you go along. So, like, I feel like anybody can enjoy it, but there's only like a small point in the movie where they kind of get a little bit redundant, but it's not very long, especially for a movie that's 2 hours and 17 minutes long. You know,
Yeah. Do you think they could have played with that a little bit more?
I
The ending.
guess, I guess you
I
could,
was gonna
but
say something I forgot totally. What I was gonna
I,
say.
I don't think that they should. Top Gun to me is not a franchise that should be a fucking 10 sequel franchise though. Like I feel like they should be done after this. No spoilers. They could do whatever, but like to me
I
Top Gun was it should be a 2 movie franchise. I feel like it should be done now. I really do.
I would say yes, but I think Miles Teller was really good in it. And honestly, I wouldn't mind. This was so unique and so cool to see. And it was magic, dude. It was so fucking cool because there was no politics, there was no goddamn political bullshit in it. It was just a pure action movie with some cool, like heartfelt stuff going on in between. I think it could be on a Netflix show. I'm not saying that Miles Teller has to, but the Top Gun program, um I also don't, you shouldn't wear out your welcome. But I definitely don't think that a Top Gun 3 in theatrical release would do good. But who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows? But dude, I really enjoyed this movie. This movie was so fucking good. And by the way, if you guys are wondering, some of you guys out there that are Top Gun like heartfelts, like you guys are like the followers of Top Gun, the original Top Gun, do yourself a favor and go see this movie. It is worth your dollar.
Yeah.
It is really, really good.
Yeah. It feels like a 90s cinema. It feels like a movie you went to see in the 90s and like the whole crowd was just vibing with it and loved it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it feels way more legit and authentic than so many movies we get today. And that's when Jay texted me about how he had made him cry twice, and it made me cry once or twice in the movie too. Like my takeaway was you just don't see movies like this. Like there was so much effort into every scene put in that like it felt real. Like I really wish they would go back to making movies like this, and we'll see what happens. But
Isn't it weird that you see that though? Like that it takes that much effort and time to make a movie like this big theatrical movie that it makes you feel like, why aren't they all doing this?
Exactly. And
why aren't they all doing this?
I hope that this makes people realize
this is what people want. This is what they want.
Yeah.
When you go to a movie theater, you want to escape reality. You want to feel these things. You want to go to a different place.
I want that.
That's what Top Gun did. That Top Gun Maverick, by the way, it doesn't have any fucking. There's no political messages. It's literally just a fucking action movie with a great heart in the middle of it, and that's it. That's all you're watching.
Yeah. Awesome. Which, I mean, there's people who are gonna they try to take everything and make it political. Now it's like if you like this movie, then you're jerking off to the military. Like
what?
Both sides of the fence are gonna try to make everything about
Top Gun
wokeism.
1 then was all jerking off the military. If you like Commando, you were jerking off to the military.
To me, I just go to see a movie and I don't get pissed and I don't care. But Foxtown, thank you very much, my friend. That is a very generous super chat. It says LOL when they showed Jack Torrance talking about Dr. Sleep. I was totally expecting a Peter Cushing Rogue One type job. Was surprised that they just cast a different actor.
Yeah, the guy that they cast, he wasn't bad, and actually he played Jack Torrance pretty well. But yeah, it was pretty interesting that they didn't do a. I actually thought they were going to do a CGI computer build onto his face to make him look more like Jack Nicholson, and then you'd have to pay Jack Nicholson like $25 million. But
gotta pay for those Laker tickets.
But I got to be honest, like the guy they picked, I liked him. I thought he was pretty good. I didn't think the guy was bad at all. I mean, he's not Jack Nicholson. No one's going to be Jack Nicholson. But the guy that played Jack Torrance. I like that too. I like the practicality. Like we're not relying on like an extra $10 million to do a CG of Jack Nicholson face. So
yeah, I think they did. I barely remember it, but I think they did a good job with that too. Ash Lockhart says, "Would you see a horror movie written by Tim Burton and Wes Craven and directed by Steven Spielberg? How well do you think that movie would be, dude? Fucking written by Tim Burton and Wes Craven, directed by yes. The answer is yes, Jim.
That'd be like watching the end of Lord of the Rings when they storm the fucking gates and they win. Yeah, I would love. I think that would be amazing." By the way, someone said it was, oh my God, is that true? Anthony C says it was the kid Elliot from E.T. who played Jack Torrance in Dr. Sleep. Holy fuck, dude.
That's wild.
I might have zoned out. Yeah. But yeah.
Put it in my pipe and smoke it.
Tim Burton and Wes Craven and directed by Steven Spielberg. I mean, how can you go wrong?
That sounds amazing. I would eat that up with a spoon. Michael Parton says, my one complaint is that I wish the football scene was more homoerotic, like the volleyball scene. Other than that, I loved it more than the first. I was expecting volleyball. Like when they did football, I was almost like disappointed. Like I wanted to
hear playing it with the boys. Yeah, but it is what it is. Everybody was shirtless. They were shirtless though.
And there was a lot of beefcake going around. But I do second your disappointment. I wanted some more gayness in that scene for sure. And some volleyball for sure. But that concludes our broadcast evening, my friend.
That's it, guys.
Hey, but what's your rating for it? What's your Top Gun rating?
Ooh, that's a 9.0 for me, Jim.
I'm right behind you at an 8.5. Fucking loved it. Thought it was great, man. Go see it. And look, even if you're not a Top Gun person and you're saying to yourself, I don't love Top Gun, it's not my thing. Go see it because even if you're not that interested in the subject material, you know what I mean, of Top Gun, my 12-year-old, a 2-hour and 17-minute movie, about fighter pilots. My 12-year-old couldn't give a fuck less about military, fighter pilots, whatever. She loved it. You know what I mean? It's one of those just
Is your daughter a
entertaining-
communist?
It's one of those entertaining good guys, bad guys.
That's all it is. Yeah.
And it's so natural and legit. Like, I'm telling you guys, even if you're not a fan of these kind of movies, this may be one of the last movies like this we get. I totally recommend it. It's 8.5.
But I hope it's a beacon for Hollywood that
Yes.
people want this, because by the way, this movie opened up during Memorial Day weekend at $151 million,
It's killing, dude.
which is the biggest opening of Tom Cruise's career. It really is the biggest opening of Tom Cruise's career of all movies he's done.
Yeah.
I think the audience speaks for itself. They want more movies like this. I think this movie it's very sweet. It's incredible with the action, but it has a good message in the middle. And you know what? We're not relying on political bullshit here. We're just watching a good movie. And that's what we've been missing for a long fucking time in Hollywood. And you get that. Because I fully expected watching this movie that, somebody was going to be this, or there was going to be a political affiliation here, and they were going to bring this in here or do that. And I'm like, no, guess what? It didn't. It had nothing to do with anything. It was just like, this is my problem with you. This is where we are, and let's move on from that. So,
exactly. Someone was asking what the top 10 was. These were our top 10s, 2012 to 2022, right there. If you missed that, go back, watch the show. This is the show. The show is done. I give it an 8.5. Jay gives it a 9. Go see Top Gun Maverick. And hey, thank you guys, all 245 people in here that are hanging out. I
didn't know that was people watching.
We broke over
like 45 people.
We broke over 400 at one point.
What?
It's been a great night. It's been a great fucking night.
I'm glad I paid all those prostitutes.
Yeah, you got to do it, man.
Yeah,
you got to do it. Glenn Harris says Top Gun 3, go fuck yourself. That is the movie I want to fucking see.
No, I don't want to see that at all. I watch that shit on Netflix.
Hey, I love you guys so much. We both love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching tonight and hanging out with us. And
thanks, guys.
I want to jerk you off or touch your lady parts, whichever you are. In
a consensual way.
Yeah, of course.
In a consensual way.
Always. Let's have
not
some
like we're like just like appear in your house like Mothman and
fucking
do something weird and make your eyes bleed.
Yeah.
Mothman prophecy. Chapstick.
Love you guys. Have a great night, my friends. Good night to you. I gotta pee and smoke. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'll
be back in a minute. That's what's gonna happen.